Hey folks, welcome back to Carnival Slayers with the hot sauce. This episode, we are speaking on everything spicy, interesting to do with Notting Hill Carnival 2022. My goodness, it's been a lot happening over the last week or so. So let me introduce myself. I go by the name of Sir Influential out of Soca Weekend and Flag Sound. Of course, don't forget Soca Weekend is coming up next month in Portugal, 13th to the 17th of October. Portugal, there's some easy, good, cheap flights. Hit me up and I'll give you more information. My lovely panelists today are from the top left. We have Mr. Holistic Dex himself. We have Miss Pondy Road UK on the bottom left. And we have the lovely Kisha G from Toronto City.
Hello.
And we have also another regular resident panelist, Mr. Black Star, but he is currently joining us a bit later. And of course, special shouts out to our resident host, Giselle, and our other panelists, Lisa the therapist, and Super Trini Vibes the chef, and of course the big boss herself, Nai from Carnival Slayers. So once again, folks, this is the hot sauce. We're talking everything that's in our carnival, what was good, what was not so good, the excitement, the bacchanal, how we felt. It's been 2 years since we were on the roads, chipping, going down the road in costume. So let's get straight in. I'm gonna start with Miss Pondy Road UK, because Carnival happens on the road. So, Miss Pondy Road UK, how was Nottingham Carnival 2022 for you?
It was a welcome. I'm glad it was back. It was actually the Sunday. I literally just free roamed on the Sunday. I think I saw you on the Sunday on the truck, and I just remember having that good energy and that good feeling of like, yeah, glad to see my people out celebrating. I was out. It was just nice to see thousands of smiling faces. I stayed mostly on the route. I didn't go into the interior like where most of the sounds were. So I was on route and by judging point, and it was just a pleasure to see everyone out enjoying themselves, different cultures mixing. It was a nice vibe. So from that point of view, I enjoyed it that there were people out enjoying themselves, appreciating the culture and trying to, enjoy themselves on this sunny bank holiday. The Monday, I played mass actually in costume, which was okay. It was fantastic to have a costume back on, be on the roads, be on the truck. And yeah, I enjoyed Carnival being back. I had many positives. There's a few negatives and a few things that rubbed me up the wrong way. But overall, I'm glad Carnival is back. And yeah, and
Lovely. We don't want to get into the negatives just
yeah,
yet.
I know because it's coming up. But yeah, on the whole, I had a good I had a good day. I had a good day.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Miss Ponder Road. Dexter, Mr. Holistic Nutritionist, how was your Nottingham Carnival 2022?
Good afternoon, good evening. Hello, everybody. Yes, my carnival. I've been well. It's in our blood. We've been looking forward to this, even though we still made the most of a lockdown and we still partied. But there was nothing like just being back on the road with the masqueraders, with the band, feeling the sound. I remember the Sunday, just stepping the first feeling of feeling that sound system hit you. It was such an amazing feeling again, because obviously we haven't had that loud, heavy sound system hit us like that in a while. So just stepping back on the road and seeing all the sounds out there was mesmerizing feeling for sure. So for me, I'm the type of person, no matter obviously there's a lot of logistics, a lot of negatives, I always enjoy myself. I make the most of whatever. And for me, I went to enjoy myself. I played the jab with Island Master Sunday, and then I played with Invaders the Monday. And the flag sound was right in front of me. So your float was right in front of me the Monday. So yeah, it was a nice vibe. I enjoyed myself. But we gotta come to the other logistics later.
Love that. Thank you so much, brother. Now, for our special guest, Kisha G from Toronto. This was your first Notting Hill, right?
Yes, yes.
So tell us a little bit about it. How was it for you?
It was honestly amazing. 10 years long in the making. Wanted to come. It was a milestone birthday for me. I had a few friends that were heavily involved, and I had to do it. I had to do it. Now, fresh after COVID, it was like, you know, we had to all come out and celebrate life for sure. But it was honestly amazing. It was definitely life changing. I was breathtaking at a lot of components. Like I would tell you, you guys' Juve puts many to shame. I'll tell y'all that. I was very impressed. Like I remember walking on what's the road that you guys have it on? Starts with the L. I forget.
Ladbroke Grove.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, walking from a back street onto this, and my mouth literally dropped at the amount of people and just the vibes, and it was surreal. Like it was
Yeah, surprisingly, it's
definitely.
grown a lot. It's grown a lot for sure. The Juve morning over
I
time.
was impressed. I was saying like this is coming to the equivalent of Trinidad. You know, like I was so impressed. I said I would fly in just for the day just to do that again and come back out. You know, there's a lot of pluses for the carnival, but the second day, the Monday, it was interesting, you know, to
We're
say
gonna
the
get
most.
into
But
that for sure as well.
yeah.
Black
But I
Star,
was
thank
happy
you
to
so
be a
much,
part of
Kisha
it.
G. Black Star, how was your Notting Hill Carnival 2022?
Oh, it was great. Just to echo like Dexter's thoughts, like just to feel the sound system just vibrate all through your system just felt so good. So it's like I met my guys on at Westbourne Park and then obviously walked down to Ladbroke Grove. But it's just literally like that walk down, it felt like I haven't done it for so long. So everything was just literally just coming back. So literally I was on the because I stayed by Hanger Lane hotel there. So when I was coming up and then going all the way, I was thinking, "Wow, am I actually going carnival? Like, does this actually feel surreal?" So it's only when I hit Ladbroke Grove and I'm smelling the jerk pan, I'm bought a sorrel, this and that. I was thinking, okay, like this is carnival. They only hit me when I hit like the main strip, and I just see Chocolate Nation just started, and I was like, okay, this is carnival, and then just literally just took it through there. So I played with Watless on a Sunday, and then I was with Caribbean Sessions on a Monday, and I had a great time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, regardless, both days, like I had a great time. It just felt good to just be with my people and just see everybody happy, just to be on the road and anything. So yeah, so I had a very good time.
Love that, love that, love that. Evening to all who's just tuning in. This is Hot Sauce, Carnival Slayers YouTube. Don't forget to follow Carnival Slayers on all social media platforms. We are discussing everything Notting Hill Carnival, the sweet, the sour, and everything in between. Let's also hear from the big boss lady herself, Nai. Nai, how was your Notting Hill Carnival 2022?
Okay, well, firstly, hello everyone. Hello to everyone all over the world that's tuned in. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. My carnival on the Sunday was epic, as always. I was with Island Mass. I played a mass, played jab, black and dutty, the usual. I had a great time. I always have a better time on a Sunday than I do on a Monday, funny enough. But that's me. But funny enough, a few people have sort of recently been saying the same thing. I guess it's just less fuss because I just get up, get dressed in my, jab attire, and then just hit the road. I usually find that the DJs sometimes with some bands play better on a Sunday than they do on a Monday. That's another thing I think why I prefer Sundays. But this year, I probably could have do with a bit more of my favorites in terms of jab tunes being played. But essentially, most of Sunday was absolutely great. Had a great time. Monday, didn't have as much great time as Sunday, but I still had a good time. I was with Release the Rhythm Tribe. Big up to everyone, of course. And yeah, it was really nice to be with them. And yeah, the music was really good, really sweet. We hit the stage, we got to judging. The judges saw me. I'm like, hey, I haven't done that in ages. But like what you guys were saying earlier, it felt great to hear the bass in the chest. It was good to hear that. It was good to be back on the road anyway. So yeah, that's my 2 pence.
We love that. We love that. So people don't forget. Also, if any of our viewers, our listeners, our subscribers are watching, if you also attended Nottingham Carnival, please do comment. Let us know how it was for you as well in the comments, and obviously we'll post it up. We'll respond accordingly. This is the Hot Sauce Talk at Everything Nottingham Carnival 2022. Let's get into obviously quickly just to remind people, those of you who are
How was your carnival?
How's
So
my carnival? Yeah, my carnival was good. I definitely appreciated being back on the road. I appreciate the Sunday a lot, seeing the junior mass. I think that's very important that we have that. And I wanted to touch on that to say that Notting Hill Carnival is special because we have the Sunday, which is the junior mass. It's not about
Hmm.
the Dirty Mass. No offense to you guys that love the Dirty Mass, but it's not about you guys. The Sunday is about the junior mass. That's how Notting Hill Carnival started. That's how Claudia Jones started it out as a junior mass for the young people to know and understand and appreciate, their culture, and especially with everything that's going on at the time with the racial, you know, movements and civil rights movements at the time, and obviously the passing of Kelso, who's from Antigua. And then the Monday was really good in the sense of everybody came out in costume, everybody made an effort. It was brilliant to see so many familiar faces and new faces in costume, and we could all reach judging point at some point. And the new addition to judging point, which is the stage, which
Yeah.
is also a nice touch to see Notting Hill Carnival taking another step further to compete on that international level, like Trinidad, like the Caribanas, like the Miamis, like the Barbados, and the St. Lucias, by having certain elements involved in the carnival that really put us on that global sphere. So for me, both days were very good. I definitely enjoyed Monday a bit more than the Sunday, but I'm glad to have been able to do both days. So I wanted to definitely circle back and touch on Sunday for everybody in a bit more detail because I want us to really dig into, and I also wanted to ask, would you, and this is something that I asked on Twitter recently, would you enjoy Sunday Carnival as much if every single band had to do a junior mass band, so there were no more dirty masses, but all you had to do was the junior mass, so you had to come on the road with the children, and you had to play music that was child friendly, and you're all in t-shirt, or you have the kids in costume as some bands do, and then the adults in t-shirts. Would you enjoy the Sunday as much or more than Monday if that was the case? Let's have a think, and then whoever's ready, just raise your hand and then we can begin. All right, Dexter, go ahead.
So I guess if we keep it strictly to junior mass, then I guess we'll put more emphasis on the Juve morning. So Juve morning will grow bigger, and that will where if people want to play the Dotti Mass and so on, will be the Juve, which will be this. And Juve, the word Juve is the break of dawn. So there's literally before so obviously it will be people from 5 a.m. till about 9 doing the dirty mass and so on. Then you clean up to then come back and do the t-shirt with the children. And that way it gives the children more of a space to showcase, because I feel that it's taken away from the children because these dirty mass bands, not to say that I didn't like the vibes of Isla Mass and all of that, but it is taking a lot away the vibes from the kids enjoying and showcasing, because these bands are so massive with dirty mass. Yeah, it's taken away from the kids showcasing their costumes. Imagine kids are coming, because the kids are meant to be with their costumes on that day, and there's so much paint and things throwing around. It's taken away from the kids showcasing their costumes. So I believe, yes, I do agree. We need to then go back to the core of what the Sunday was about, showcasing the kids, and then the Monday we come out to showcase the adults, and it is to showcase the creativity of the hard work that the designers and the mass bands has put in. We've lost that. Anyways, I'll get into that in later down the line. But for now, I believe we should have the kids day back.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Dexter. Thank you. Miss Ponderosa, go ahead.
yeah. I purposely didn't play Dirty Mass on the Sunday. I purposely wanted to walk around and film, and I spent a lot of time around the judging point this year capturing some of the children's bands, because as much as I'm a Dirty Mass girl over a Pretty Mass any day, trust me, I really am. However, we need a kids' day, because how we are the next generation of masqueraders, band leaders, designers, how are they going to learn the culture? And that's the only way for them to do it, to be incorporated, to be included, from to feel passionate about their culture, to enjoy it, and it was a pleasure to see. And it's a vibe. Like, kids bands, the junior bands, they're not boring. It's a vibe. And there is plenty kids friendly, PG, non-explicit lyric soca that you can play that we can all vibe and all enjoy. So I don't really see it as an issue. I do think it needs to go back to that way. And as Dexter say, maybe we should utilize the Juve morning as a means for the Dutty Mass section for the adults that want to play Dutty Mass. And then on Sunday, we leave it for the junior sections and the kids, you know, and on a Monday, we come out and show out in our costumes. And then I suppose everybody has a little piece, you know. You got Panorama on the Saturday, then you have the Juve for the morning for a Dutty Mass, and you have the children, and then you have the main adults. Everybody wins, you know. But yeah, I think it's very important to
Definitely. Thank you both so far. And just to add and highlight and remind the listeners and viewers again that Notting Hill Carnival is a 3-day experience. So we do start it from the Carnival Saturday with the Panorama, which is a big thing because it's all the steel bands UK wide that come down to London and participate in this competition. And some of them have affiliations with steel bands back in Trinidad and so on. It gets very heated. So if you are into steel pan and you are not overly fussed about going to things like the Dreamlands and the like that take up your whole Saturday, you can do like a rocker tuck or a strut boat ride, and then in the evening go down to the Panorama and see the steel bands compete, and it's a beautiful experience. I hope to do that next year or the year after for sure, because I haven't been able to do it for myself. And in addition to that as well, the Sunday, like Dexter said, definitely we need to get back into doing the Juve in the morning, where it starts at between 4 and 5 and ends at around say 8, 9 at Ladbroke Grove, like you mentioned, Keisha, right there, where it's just again rhythm section, paint and powder, no DJs, and hopefully nobody leaves their nice white BMW or Porsche on the front door. So we don't. Dexter, I'm gonna come back to that because I want Keisha to quickly speak after as well. And just to remind people as well that again, thank you both for commenting on that and highlighting the significance of the junior mass band. And I wanted to know if Keisha, if she was familiar with that, and do they do anything like that in Toronto? And as well, just to highlight that this year was our least amount of junior mass bands for Notting Hill Carnival 2022. So it was concerning, which is why I asked the question, because Flags had a junior mass band. Caribbean Sessions had something with UCOM called Future Mass, and there was one other RDR, and then one other band called Winging It. So there's like 4 to 5 bands that had
There
junior
was
mass.
there was six total because I was at the
6 in
meeting.
total.
Yeah, I was at the meeting, so I had all the figures and numbers and everything.
Right. So again, which is not, which compared to the 30 odd bands that registered and got approved for the road, 6 only having junior mass bands is not enough. That's not good.
Mangrove had one, and Elamu as well. They've got children's
There we
section.
go. So definitely. So Keisha G, how was your Sunday? Give us a more in-depth look into your first time. Did you go to the Juve in the morning, or did you just do the dirty mass bands during the Sunday day?
I just did the Dutty Mass. As for the kids, I did. You know what? I saw very few children. It was very overshadowed by the Dutty Mass. I didn't even hear people talking about it. You know, so I'm surprised when I'm hearing. And please excuse my ignorances. You know, I was visiting. I didn't really. I was mostly hearsay and going off of hype and whatnot. But I was surprised when I saw a few children on the road. Right. So I thought, oh yeah, this is nice. This band brought a few kids out, and because in Toronto, we do it a little bit different. Like we run a section, myself, my sister, we run a kids section. We also run an adult section. But when we have our kids carnival, our carnival is usually, our adult one is usually the first Saturday of August, or like the maybe July 31st or 30th, right? But always a week to 2 weeks before, we have one carnival specifically for the kids. And it's in a completely different area. It's honestly beautiful. You see the kids king and queen. You see the road is just for the kids, you know? You see the parents pumping with the kids. The kids are having a good time. It doesn't get overshadowed by anything. You know, any events, competitions, they're all kids related. So, you know, I was just a little taken back. Like I would have loved to see something specifically just for the kids itself, because to me that Sunday was all about Dutty Mass to me. Right? Or from what, even from like a participant perspective, or someone visiting and seeing, you know, like I said, I was surprised when I saw a few children on, just any children on the road, right?
Love that. That's dope. Thank you for that. Again, it's nice to hear that obviously the Dirty Masses bands are growing and doing so well, and obviously pulling in the crowds, and rightly so they should, because again, it's a lot of effort and energy to pull it in. So hopefully the next time you come, you'll be able to bring a young relative, or maybe if you have young family members over here or young family friends over here that can come, you can bring them in on the Sunday as well to take in that vibe and that energy. Which band did you do the Dirty Mass with on the Sunday?
I did it with Omnia.
Ah, okay, yes, big up Omnia,
Yeah,
Boss Upper Crew,
yeah,
big them up,
and
big them.
they were. I have to say they were amazing. So some people may not know that a few weeks prior to me coming to London, I had like a almost a near fatal accident. So I had a assistive device for walking, and Omnia was very good in regards to providing, ensuring that I was okay, ensuring that I had my whatever I needed, constantly checking in. Like I was honestly very impressed. You know, they had amazing customer service.
We love that. So another big thumbs up, another tick for the Notting Hill Carnival bands, showing that we do look after our guests, whether they're
Very
from
much.
local or they're abroad as well. I mean, all their needs. Next, I'm going to quickly come to you now, and then I'm going to quickly jump over to Super Trini Vibes.
You can go to Super Trini Vibes. I'll come. I'll. It was just added on to what you were saying earlier, but it's fine. Super Trini
All right.
Vibes. How you doing, brother?
Yes, brother. So
Um,
please introduce yourself. And we're literally talking about Sunday Carnival right now and how that looked and felt for you this year. Obviously, the kids' bands as well as the Dirty Mass bands.
Good evening, everyone. Super Trini Vibes. I just passing through. Um, Usually I'll be here, as you know. Blessings to everybody. Glad everybody made it through Carnival safely. Um, and all you looking forward to Miami, so on and so on and so on and so on. From my perspective, um, the kids miss Carnival this year. The kids really miss Carnival this year. The kids that participated, um, they try to enjoy themselves, but it is clearly overshadowed by, I'm going to say it, selfish parents. Selfish parents who rather go and jump up and play dirty mass and all kind of thing and not allowing their children to come out and play mass and giving the kids an opportunity on this Sunday. And then you could have your Monday, but get your kids on the road. Let them fully immerse themselves in the culture on a Sunday. And it's too overshadowed now with people not having an identity of what Carnival Sunday really is, and it's really about getting the younger generation fully immersed in the culture and having them being able to really understand what it is to partake in Carnival. And it was really a miss. You know, it was really a miss. I have nothing against bands playing their dirty mass, everybody having their juve, because that's all part of Carnival. But there must be a greater precedent set to have the kids be a major part of the Sunday, because clearly it was a miss. You know, kids bands struggle this year to have kids be on the road, you know, and be fully like in costume and stuff. And I gotta say, big congratulations to all the kids bands who, in spite of the obstacles, were able to have kids on the road and enjoy Carnival and see how much. When I tell you, I was with GMI on the Sunday, and the kids, oh my gosh. When I tell you, they enjoyed themselves, they fully, fully enjoyed themselves. They were buzzing. They were kids who didn't want to go to sleep in the nighttime. Parents would come around and say they don't want to go to sleep because they were that involved and enjoying themselves. But then there was the other flip side to it, where it is there was paint everywhere, you know, there was powder everywhere, and people just passing by and not recognizing and giving the kids their respect on the road, you know, because the road is for them as well. And London is very different to the Caribbean, 100%. You know, where it is, you know, on a Carnival Sunday or Carnival Saturday in Trinidad, 100%. The kids are fully involved and they are the most important part. But the respect for that in the UK isn't there. You know, everybody's just out to make sure that they enjoy themselves and they have they have their time, and however they have it, they have it. Dexter.
So I was with Giselle yesterday in the Notting Hill Carnival meeting at Tabernacle. One of the major things, one of the major topics that keep getting brought up is it's the rebranding, I should say, of understanding what actual Notting Hill Carnival is. And what somebody actually bring up a valid point in the meeting. They said from the time Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, was calling it a street party, you've gone wrong. You've already failed it. So making people understand what Notting Hill Carnival is and educating a lot because basically the meeting yesterday was for the residents, and there was majority of the residents there was very uneducated with what actually Notting Hill Carnival is. They was coming with their racist talks, because believe me, there was a lot of racist talks in that meeting yesterday. It was a very heated meeting because there was a lot of people that had no understanding that through gentrification they only came 8 years ago, and a lot of them was saying you need to move Carnival out. So believe me, I have all the points of all what got broken down in that meeting and so on. But luckily, and I was very happy to hear that with each point those residents was bringing, we had a rebuttal to address it all, to make sure. And Notting Hill was saying, we're making sure it will never move into a park, because Notting Hill Carnival is a procession through Notting Hill. It's all through the origins of where it was born. It will always stay there. I will give you a reason to why this year. I know I'm pushing the boundary. I'm going a bit forward, but through this meeting, some of the issues we had this year was the overcrowded and so on on the main route. Where that came from this year wasn't due to actually the numbers being increased. Statistically, they said this year was less than 2019. You know what's mad? It seemed like there was more people this year, but it wasn't the case. What was causing that was the Met Police, and this what was mad. A lot of people was angry the Met Police wasn't in that meeting yesterday. The Met Police caused a lot of the problems of Notting Hill Carnival this year. They were herding and cattling a lot of the people, and they closed off a lot of the streets. I'm sure you're aware. A lot of the streets that were usually open for Notting Hill Carnival, they closed them all off. So a lot of streets was closed off, and Notting Hill Carnival got squashed into an even smaller radius. How are you gonna squash the numbers are the 1.5 million people attended, and you're squashing it into a smaller radius? Of course, the main Lambert Grove Road is going to be a bottleneck because of that.
Dexter, I would say that partially, yeah. I would say that partially because I remember even like 5 years ago that any right you want to make off of Lambert Grove, you couldn't do it. Any right off of Lambert Grove, you couldn't do it. When you pass Judge's Point, you couldn't make any right and go down any street there. You either had to stay on the route or go left, which means you're coming out of Carnival. And for me, I'm telling you, on those side streets, it was absolute chaos. It was, when I mean chaos, I mean I literally went back onto Lambert Grove and came back off again, and then decided to walk up the side streets, which was literally like me in corned beef. It was corned beef. That's to tell you how. And this was off Lambert Grove, and the reality of it is that as much as I could understand the Met Police, one thing that they did very well was they allowed a little break between the bands, which allowed people to move a little bit easier. But there was still a lot of things that could have been done better. There's always things that could be done better. But from the perspective that I had and going through the back streets, there was just way too many hubs of stuff going on in one area, which was just off of Lambert Grove, which just filtered so many people within that area there that it was just uncontrollable.
But yeah, a lot of the points that got addressed in the meeting, toilets was one. So because they had, obviously, the board of Notting Hill Carnival is made up of MPs from the Westminster Council, MPs from there's like 5 of them are MPs. Imagine that. And Giselle brought up this point perfectly. In the older generation, the board was made up of Caribbean people, from the mass bands to people in the culture. Now the board of Notting Hill Carnival, except for Matthew, who is the CEO, the rest are white MPs that makes up the board of Notting Hill Carnival that has no connection to the culture. They are just there that is obviously that's connected with the bigger lot, the mayor and the government and so on, to do those logistics. And one of the points that was being brought up was the toilet situation. The Kens the the not the borough was, they literally lessened down on the budget for the toilets. I'm sure you realize the toilets this year was pieces of bin and cardboard and pieces of board that was built together. They didn't spend money on proper portaloo. So through that, more people was urinating and doing on the side roads and people garden, which a lot of the residents complained about. But this is because the government, not the government, the borough didn't spend the correct budget for toilets. They need to be spending money on the toilets to make sure, because with how much numbers of people, toilets need to be spread across the whole route, but they didn't do that. So that was one of the main issues that got brought up as well. But anyways, let me not hold the whole thing.
Thank you both very much. Black Star, let me hear from you as well. How was your Sunday Notting Hill Carnival in retrospect?
My Sunday was good, but obviously upon hearing the feedback and everything, I'm feeling a bit guilty of enjoying it a bit too much because
You should. You should. I saw you. You should.
yeah. In my defense, I'm still learning the culture, so I'm about 5-6 years deep in. So obviously, I'm now realizing that the importance of the kids play mass, and obviously, when I did see them on route, it did look fantastic. Like I saw a lot of them have like dance routines and stuff, and they look very good in their costume and everything. So that aspect looked good. But overall, for me on the Sunday, I just enjoyed it as aspect as I felt like it felt a bit more authentic in comparisons to the Monday. Like the last crew went there, the Init crew went there, the Magnum and Helium balloon people went there. So it just felt like Saturday just felt a bit more authentic. So it just felt nice just see people you haven't seen for years, like people that you just normally see on the road and in fets and everything. Hadn't seen them for like 2 years, so it's literally just a lot of stop, start, just bumping in and then having like an overall good time. And like not to take away from the kids, but the kids definitely did look good on the road and everything. So aside from my selfish enjoyment on the whole of the Sunday, that felt nice. But I just feel like I don't know, for people like
No
myself
problem.
and people who don't know, I feel like maybe there is already, but maybe more needs to be done in spreading awareness, maybe through social media or through other mediums and stuff, as to the explanation about, you know what I'm saying, about like the origins of Carnival on the Sunday and everything. I know Self-Lynch was just very cutthroat in his saying things, but obviously I don't take offense to it. So that's just the way I see things. But it's all a learning curve. So each one teach one. So I've now learned something new. So I can now spread that info or information onto other people. But if more can be done,
Yes.
said, and more information can be shared, I'll be more than happy to share it on to people. Because I always tell people, listen, I love the culture. I've submerged myself in the culture, but I'm still like a visitor. I still have to go and renew my permit every so often. So
Mhm.
you
We
know what I'm saying?
appreciate that, and definitely, you raised a good point. Yes, Michelle, we know Lagniappe had a children's section. So yeah, definitely big up all the mass bands that had a children's section as well. And I think it's important that more people, more adults, more of the adults, um, take that responsibility on themselves to do their due diligence and do their research and ask, why isn't there a kids section? How, you understand? It's not always, don't wait to be spoon fed the information. Sometimes actively go out and seek it. And also to touch on that a bit further as well, it was brought to my attention as well that a lot of parents this year, because it was the first year back, did not want to bring themselves or their child to carnival, especially not on the Sunday, because it's the first year back. All the pushing and the shoving and the excitement, they just didn't feel like it was appropriate to do that for this year. But they have more intention to bring themselves and their children next year. So we should definitely see an increase in the junior mass bands and their sizes, for next year Carnival 2023. So for anybody that's watching, that's listening, please do check out the mass bands. Most mass bands have a children's section, so have no fear. And of course, if you have a niece, a nephew, a little cousin, a little sister, even your neighbors pick them. If you can manage to bring them or encourage your neighbor to bring them or their parents to bring them, please do bring them to the carnival on the Sunday and really learn about how to make the the costumes and the history of it, chipping down the road, Obviously, we can also mention the music as well, which we're going to slowly get into as well, and
100%.
put them into the YouTube that teaches that. And also there's a very very good young soca artist. He's gonna be as big as Machelle when he gets to Machelle Montana's age, and his name is Aaron Duncan. So he is literally following in Machelle's footsteps, and he's been doing it for a long time. He's a young Trinidadian artist, phenomenal artist, and he's now a teenager, I believe, if I remember correctly. He's now between like 30
16.
15. So yeah, there we go. So you can see already, and he's been doing music for the last 10 years. So there's a lot of things like that each one teach one. We can use our platforms, have conversations like this to definitely highlight the significance of what things we need to work on and improve. Like they said, it is shocking to hear about the toilets as well, because that's the first that we've ever had such a shortage of proper toilets on Notting Hill Carnival, which is very very poor from the council side, because they know the significance of having the toilets, because all the mass bands can't provide toilets to everybody that's coming to Notting Hill. Most mass bands only can accommodate one or two toilets on their truck. So we need all of those toilets spread around, definitely. Let's get into Monday though. How was Monday? Because that's the adults' day. How was Monday? Costume day. Let us start with Nine. Nine, how was your Monday Nottingham Carnival 2022?
Mine was a late starter just because we were having pictures taken and doing the most before we even set off, and then we were waiting ages for an Uber because I was staying in Chelsea. So I had to wait a while for an Uber, so everything kind of got delayed for me. But when I did eventually get to the band, to the Rhythm Tribe, again, big up, it was blessed. It was cool. It was a nice vibe. Everyone was happy. Everyone was excited. Everyone was on a vibe. Everyone's dancing. Everyone's smiling. Managed to capture a few slayers at that point. Just before, it was just after the bit where they normally have panorama. That's where I caught up with the band, and everyone was on a nice vibe. It was really cool. The music was sweet. And yeah, throughout the day it was fine for me. I had a good time with the Rhythm Tribe. There were probably a few songs that I wish I heard, as always. There are a few songs that I'm looking out for. But other than that, everyone seemed to enjoy themselves, and it was really, as I said earlier, it was really heartwarming to know that we've actually got a stage and we was able to go on a stage and do our thing. So I was really glad for that. And of course, I was happy to see my team working at Judging Point, taking videos, well, filming and doing photography. So big up the team, Carib culture and all that. So yeah, for me, Monday was nice. It was cool. I actually technically, just as a disclaimer, I wasn't actually with the bands that I probably should have been with in terms of costume. So my costume was designed by Amorous Mass London, which is a part of Ebony. I didn't get to see them. I didn't get to go on the stage with them. I didn't get to see them or whatever, because as I
Yeah.
said, where I was coming from, and
float was
in
the
terms
best
of what I
looking
was
float.
doing and everything, I didn't get to them basically.
Yeah,
So I ended up in,
yes,
huh?
Ebony was the nicest looking float as a design wise, because they were the float in front of they
Yeah, they did look very pretty
Nice.
from what I gather. Yes, very, very pretty indeed. So it was a shame because I wanted to be with the two bands, to be honest. With the Rhythm Tribe and Ebony for a bit, especially when it comes to Judging Point, because I wanted to be with everyone that was in my section crossing the stage, and of course with the designer in front, as I normally do. But I didn't get to catch up with the bands because of the crowds, and it just got a bit, hectic. So that was my experience of Monday. But as I always say, I have a better time on a Sunday than I do on a Monday, generally.
Right. Lovely. Thank you so much for that. And big up all those mass bands mentioned. This is the hot sauce. We're talking everything Notting Hill Carnival 2022 right here on Carnival Slayers YouTube. We have a full house panelist. We're not full house. We're missing two of our lovely resident panelists. Big up them. Um, and yes, that we love the stage. Kisha G, let's go over to you. How was your Monday? It's your first Notting Hill Carnival now. Adult,
Ugh,
big people
ugh.
day. Tell us how that went for you from start to finish.
How can I say? Well, with the band, it was amazing. I played with Rain. They did exceptional work. In regards to like getting to the band, like the entire day as a whole, other than me with the band, it was stressful, very stressful, and quite interesting. Like one, it took us. We were staying at so I guess based off the area, we were staying at the Hilton, like Shepherd's Bush area. I guess
Holland Park, Bush, yeah.
yeah. So forgive me if I'm saying anything incorrectly. And so we came out a little bit late. Typically, like when we played mass in Toronto, we can come outside at say 11. Not maybe not 11, but starting at 11. Let's say come out at 2 o'clock. You're okay, right? So we were told that distance wise is not that far. Where we're staying from the carnival, it's taken us about. We can't get a cab. Firstly, it's taken us about 40 minutes to get to the band, or even get to the road again. Name
Ladbroke Grove.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, for us to get there. So when we get there, it's like mad people. Like I'm talking, it was crazy, and it was mad stormers. I'm seeing more stormers than I'm seeing masqueraders. It took us about 3 to 4 hours to find our band, like 3 to 4 hours. And keep in mind, one of our friends sent us a location tracker thing, So it took us about 3 to 4 hours. In that 3 to 4 hours, I was stressed. Like somebody stepped on I had a frontline costume, I'm excited to wear, before I even get to my band, someone steps on my feathers. I'm trying to fight through crowds. Nobody cares if I have a costume on. Like I would have swore that these people paid their money to be there. You know what I mean? Like they were amping up for this for the last few years. They did not care, and I've never seen so many stormers in my life. That was the next thing too. Like that was crazy. So I'm trying to walk with my feathers because I'm like, you know what? I can fix this when I get back home. It's fine. Let me just get to my band, get where it's safe and whatnot. There were men that were being extremely aggressive, extremely rude. I was trying to fight through a crowd where I'm saying I'm like this, me and my cousin from New York, same thing. We were just cussing the whole time. Somebody, while we're walking through the crowd, pulls my feathers out of my hand. And it's the crowd is so thick that I can't even turn around and say, pass that, that's mine. No, they didn't care. They did not care. Even by the time, let's say, even as we eventually found our truck, by the time we found our truck and we were by, the rest station truck and whatnot, that alone, even to get past that truck took us about 45 minutes because there were so many stormers, and like I said, they did not care if you needed to get through. They just had, and they had no regard for, respect for you as a human being, period, or a female at that. Like one of my girlfriends, she said that somebody tried to like pull her frontline backpack off of her back and teeth it. I was like, what? Another friend told me that somebody tried to grab her, what do you call it? Bits? You guys say bits, So I was just, that component of it was mortifying, but like in regards to like when you seen the band, you seen how organized a lot of the bands were, you saw how their security was set up, including the one that we were with. They were doing an amazing job. Like the stormers as a whole made it a horrible experience.
I'm gonna give you the reason. I'm gonna give you the reason why. So there's a disparity between our culture, that's the Notting Hill Carnival aspect, which is the part you enjoyed, and the part of where it tries to be a unifying street party for all cultures of London. And that's where the problem lies, because by unifying and trying to be the street party for London and all these other cultures, they have no respect for the
None.
Caribbean culture, which is the carnival aspect. If you have respect for the carnival culture, you would not be doing that to masqueraders. You would not be mashing up their feathers and so on. You would
Right.
have full respect. But because they do not care about the actual carnival
No.
culture, they don't even have regards of what carnival is. They don't know the history of it. None of them, the majority of them stormers that come in, they have no clue about none of that. All they do,
No.
all they know is to come and find gal, to chat up gal, that's all, or whatever. That is, and this is the issue. They're not seeing it as a carnival, they're seeing it as a street party. So this, the disparity between the two. You'll enjoy the Caribbean culture part, which is the band, but the most complaints comes from the people that don't respect carnival.
Oh, 100. I can 100% see that. I can 100% see that. You know, and then it was, and even coming up to the carnival, because we came maybe a week prior so we can attend the Rebel event, which was insane.
Hey, Rebel
you know,
was
it was so good.
amazing.
Whoa, I was like, listen, these UK people know how to throw juve. I was so impressed.
I was the one at the black plague doctor mask.
Yeah. So we came a week before, and it was interesting because some people were saying, like, we were talking to them, and we're like, you know, just random conversations, like what to do when you're in London, how is it, you know, like what to do, what do you hate, like you as a person who lives here, what do you hate about the city, what do you love? And some people kept calling it Carney. I was like, Carney, you mean carnival, right? And then people kept saying, yeah, and I was like, Carney, oh, what that, you know? So then, or they'd be like, oh, you know, there's a big street festival. And I was like, oh, like a street party. And I was like, street party? Don't you mean like people are going to be playing mass and stuff? Like, oh, there's truck music, you know? So I'm like, oh, okay. So it was interesting that although the entire city had this huge positive energy about this weekend in particular and the events coming up to it, but everyone's perspective was completely different. So it's interesting that you said that, you know? But like I said, and then when our truck stopped, like, you know, and like I said, every experience with my band that we were with, amazing. You know, like I said, I came there with some assistive devices. They kept checking in on me. I'm talking when I was with Rain, you know, they A+ service in regards to our costume collection, like, you know, just even vibes alone. It was great. You know, the like close to the end, what had happened was I guess our DJ had asked, you know, you could tell no matter what they were doing, they were trying to make sure the masqueraders were good. When the crowd got thick, they were still trying to make sure the masqueraders are good, you know? And I think the DJ had asked, you know, like the rope people, you know, and y'all need to get rid, like those ropes ain't doing shit, you know, like they need like some barriers, whatever, you know? So, or fences, something, because them stormers, there's something else. Like basically our DJ had asked, you know, can you know, make the road wider for the masqueraders then, because at this point, you know, think of the width of the back of the truck. We're probably like 3 people, you know, that's the width that we're getting at this point. This is close to the end, right? And then, you know, so, you know, our security is trying to like widen up the road for us so we have more room. So someone in the crowd screams, if they push, we're gonna push back. Can you imagine? So they start pushing. You can see all the masqueraders going left, right. You know, our DJ asked everybody, you know, masqueraders to start coming to the front. Listen, they started pushing harder on us, you know? So imagine us through this little space on the side of the truck trying to all come to the front. It was horrific. Like I legit had a panic attack. A few other people did too. Like it was, and like I said, nothing to do with the band. The band was doing everything in their power to make sure we were good. This was all the stormers, you know? If they can control in some way, shape or form, or like, I don't know, maybe the police could provide a barrier that they seemed to think they were making. I don't know. It would have been way better experience, you know? Way better experience. Because them stormers is something else. They're running your roads. Sorry.
Do you know my I don't know if I'm so influential will agree with this, but the CEO of Notting Hill Carnival agreed, and he actually made this point. And I believe that just doing this one simple thing will get rid of a lot of them stormers. And even Nye agrees with this point I'm about to make. Keep
100%.
the masquerade route 100% soca music, and you will see 99% of them stormers won't be on that route. And this is because them stormers don't care about soca music. They're not there for the soca music. They're there for the bashment, the dancehall, which the Afro beats that got played more than soca with a lot of the other bands. I'm not saying Rain and I know, but a lot of bands was playing a lot of Afro beats.
Well, keep in mind, I went on a nice long walk through your city. Like you know what? I'm going to take some positives from me having to take this 3-4 hour walk, because it let me see how, other bands were organized, their costumes, music they were playing. So for me, I'm trying to look at a lot of the negatives as a positive thing. Even me coming out late, I would never do that again on that Monday. Never. You couldn't PM me. I would not do it. Okay. So like, it was a learning experience. So in regards to like, I did see some bands, they were just playing like straight, they were playing straight Afrobeats, and I don't mind. I like Afrobeats. You know what I mean? Or some were playing some hip hop. I was like, what? Okay, that's what we're doing. Like we have a hip hop float in Toronto sometimes.
For the sound systems on the side street. Keep that for the sound systems on the side street, and that way the masqueraders on the route will enjoy their soca, and it will be less crowds because the crowds are not there for the soca. The crowds are there for the other vibes that the music playing.
Right.
And just to interject there, obviously in agreement with what Dexter is saying, and anyone, I'm sorry, but anyone that's just touching base on what you said earlier, Kisha, that there's people calling it carny, right?
Yeah, I was like, what's that?
Need to be eradicated, man. Like, I'm not even being funny, but like, if you're calling it carny, you're not supposed to be there, innit? You're not supposed to be there. Go behind, go in the sound system, innit? Go and check the sound system, people, right? Because if you're calling it carny, you're not there for the same reason that I'm there for. Right? Get rid of them. Sorry. Or put them in Hyde Park. Because because again, I'm gonna touch base on the topic of conversation that always keeps arising when they talk about, should Notting Hill Carnival be transferred to Hyde Park? Yeah, put the sound systems in Hyde Park. Call that carny. Yeah. And then leave the street, the people for the roads, masqueraders, the people who are there for the culture. Leave us right there in Labrador, please and thanks.
So I'm not familiar with what the Hyde Park is. It's just like a large open space where they have events.
It's like Marble Arch. Did you go to Marble Arch at all?
Yeah,
no, I didn't get to go there.
It's the biggest park in London.
Well, what we do in Toronto, we have like, so what they've done is they set up like certain spots that have like these stages, right? And these stages will be playing different music. So that's how they've kind of eliminated as much stormers. Don't get me wrong, we have a lot of stormers, but listen, I would deal with our stormers 10 times over yours. Sorry, like that was a whole lot of people and a whole lot of something. So they kind of have their own little parties. But I noticed too, like on the route, y'all had like people had speaker boxes throwing their own parties on the route. I was like, oh, okay, this is what's happening, like it was interesting. I was like, okay.
Because hey Kisha, and the topic of when did you talk about these stages and stuff, that's literally what the sound systems are. They have different stages just off the main route, and in one area, let's say 200 meters, there were 6 stages.
Wow.
And that alone is the issue. That within, and this is like you go to one intersection, there is one on either side. You go to another intersection, there is one right after the other one. And that's literally within a 200-meter radius.
Wow.
And that's what creates, because everybody's trying to get to where they want to get to. And it just creates such mayhem and carnage. And it takes up so much of the resources that is needed for Ladbroke Grove. And especially for Ladbroke Grove, because predominantly Ladbroke Grove is where it is you have the most amount of trouble on the road, because it's the longest straight that there is throughout the route, so that people can latch on and stay with whoever they want to stay with, and that creates most of the issues on the road. Sorry to interject.
No, not at all. It's okay.
Can I say my piece, because I gotta go in a minute? Is that all right?
Please. I was gonna go to you anyway, and then after you straight to Pond Road to get her Monday.
All right. My Monday experience, my carnival experience is very different to how it usually is. Be it that my body wasn't 100%. I saw Silvential on Monday, and he looked at me like, "Where this boy going with his crutch in his hand, walking down the road?" But I had to do it for me, and I had to do it for my culture. And from my perspective, we've lost something in the last 5 years. I can't even say because of COVID and people haven't had carnival for 2 years. We've lost the direction of what our culture means to us holistically. And it's going to take a while before we get back there, because if it is, you have people not respecting carnival enough to call it what it is and what it's been since the 60s, right? We have a very serious issue. And the only way that we can start bridging that gap is, as Black Star said, we got to educate. We got to literally try to let everybody know that what you're accustomed to when you go into a party is not what you're going to get when you come on the road for carnival. If you want if you want that on carnival, you got to go to some party somewhere else. You're not going to get it on the carnival road. You know, a lot of young people especially they only look at carnival through 15 seconds, 20 seconds on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. So they would mirror what they see in that 15 or 20 seconds and decide that that's their understanding of what carnival culture is, and that's how they need to behave on the road. I saw hordes of young people. They're not concerned about the music, you know. They're just concerned about rolling with their friends and just meeting girls, which is fine, or meeting guys and whatever, and then broke off their back and that is it. They don't understand that there is so much more to what the people who came before us, what they have sacrificed to make sure that we have this opportunity to celebrate our culture. You know, and make no mistake that if it is we continue to allow it to happen, we're going to lose it. We are going to lose it. You know, London is very different to everywhere else in the world as far as carnival is concerned, because you have such a mecca of cultures coming together that they all feel that on that weekend they deserve a piece. And we have to say, no, you don't. You do not. You can take it all through August. You could take it all through the Christmas. You could take it however long you want to, but them 3 days is ours because we sacrificed so much for it. You know, we've made sure that we have to create a legacy for those coming after us, that they know what carnival is all about. You know, young people need to know and need to really learn and understand. And the only way that will happen is if we, as the elders and the people who have totally immersed ourselves in the culture, continue to cultivate that, continue to just spit it out. You know, spit it out, regurgitate it. Let them keep swallowing it and swallowing until it gets tiring, you know? And we have to set that example, you know? And I know Influential is going to touch on it, but in terms of the music on the road, you know, I had to pull up DJs on the Sunday, like, yo, we can't play swearing on the Sunday. You know, whatever you want to do on a Monday, I don't really care, you know? But the Sunday, the kids need to know that they have a time for them. And on the Monday, when you have masqueraders, as in Kisha State, where it is they want to really just enjoy the road. And I saw some things, right, that really upset my soul, you know, and all I had to do was just keep walking, because everybody thinks that they have this place and they have this right, and they do not. And we have to say, you do not have the right. Because if you can't tell me what carnival is, what it represents to you, and how it is you're going to empower other people to love our culture, then leave it alone. Leave it alone. Like, please, you know, I will say this openly. On the Sunday, I did play Afrobeats, but because the reason I did it is because the kids in the band, they have blended cultures, right? And we need to integrate them. We play heavy soca, but at least break it up just a little bit for them to understand that, you know what? We want you to still enjoy the road, because they'll get tired. They will get tired. And if it is you want to keep them and grow them and say, you know what, don't worry, we're gonna wean you all through this process, you know. But on the Monday, when you have a float that's just playing dancehall and reggae all the way through. And they amass such a massive amount of people, right, that don't understand the culture in the and I had a not really a heated conversation, but I had a conversation with one of my friends where they was like, when I said the sound systems need to roll out, the sound systems need to leave, right, and be put somewhere separate so that it gives us total autonomy with our culture. Because when it is we always invite, we always welcoming everybody, and it's fine. We'll welcome you 363 days of the year. No problem. But them other 3 days or 2 days, please, we want it for ourselves. I'm Super Trini Vibes. It's been a pleasure to just pass through. I'd like to say on behalf of the royalties, thank you very much, Queen Elizabeth, for giving my family, my grandparents, my great-grandparents the opportunity to have me here and be able to spread my love for my culture in this place. That's what I would say to the Queen, and that's it for me. Good night, everybody. Thank you all for having me. I'll see you all in 2 weeks. One love.
Thank you very much, Super Trini Vibes. Big up yourself. We're definitely moving into the topic conversation now of music policy on the road for Notting Hill Carnival. This is the hot sauce. We're discussing everything Notting Hill Carnival 2022 on Carnival Sellers platform. Make sure you are subscribing, make sure you're liking, make sure you're sharing this video right now. And I want to just touch on a few things before I go to Miss Ponderoad, who's going to speak on her views on the music policy. So, first and foremost, just to remind people, and I wish Super Trini didn't rush off just before, but I'm sure he'll watch it again. The sound systems were already in Notting Hill, the area, before Claudia Jones brought the procession to Notting Hill. They were already there. The sound systems were already there. If you do the research, the sound systems are already there. Now, because remember, Notting Hill Carnival by Claudia Jones, it started in St. Pancras. The sound system culture by the Jamaicans was already there in Notting Hill. You have the footage to prove it as well. It was already present. To add on to that, it's the sound system culture in Notting Hill Carnival that allowed that to come onto the trucks. And Notting Hill Carnival is the first, if not one of the first carnivals globally to have sound systems on the truck where you can play and have DJs on the truck and play music from speakers that's blasting. Even before Trinidad, I believe, from if you do your research with the CMAs or the Caribbean Music Association, the founding members will tell you that as well. So it's a very touchy thing to ask the sound systems to move from the area. It's a bit complicated. It's not just something, oh, we deserve this, it's our procession, we came here, so you need to move. No, they could argue that you need to move and go to Hyde Park. I am of the view now, after having much conversations with people, that it may be time to move the carnival, yes, but move the parade, the procession to somewhere like what Black Star said in Hanger Lane, so close to, because traditionally as well, that hasn't always been the Notting Hill Carnival route. The route has changed 3 times over the last 50 to 60 years. So the route used to come through Hanger Lane. So if there is a way, it may need discussing. It's probably not possible anymore because obviously as London has grown, the road works and the traffic control has changed. So we may not be able to do that so easily. So it's a rock and a hard place. Definitely to combat the issue that Kisha experienced with the Stormers, we have to definitely do like Black Star said and go into the education, and that means going into the schools. Because again, like what Super Shooter is saying, people are learning about the carnival by just word of mouth hearsay and what they see their family come home and tell them, oh yeah, either you're selling food or you're walking the streets and bouncing from the sound systems to the parade. And also, the sound system side roads can only take a certain amount of people. Once that capacity is reached, people are going to naturally funnel into Ladbroke Grove. So if you happen to be on that road at that time where it's at its most peakest and rammest, no matter what genre you play, you are going to get squashed. Because whether it's soca, you're going to get squashed. Whether it's Afrobeats, you're gonna get squashed. Whether it's a reggae, you're gonna get squashed. Whether it's hip hop or drill, you're gonna get squashed. Just to the sheer number of people that are going both to and from, up and down the Ladbroke Grove Strip, which is something again, like what was mentioned earlier. If the police open up more of the side streets, like what Dexter said earlier with the meeting with the residents, you could easily funnel off most of that traffic as well. But if you're cattling everybody in onto Ladbroke Grove, you're going to have the issue that Keisha had, where people are, you're getting a mixture of people, both that respect the culture and that don't respect the culture, coming onto you, pushing onto you, and it's just even the police. There's a video where the police were swamped by people. They themselves couldn't move the crowd or control the crowd or navigate it anymore because, hey, you have the people that live in the area plus the people that are coming to the area. They're going to meet and collide in a way that it's a bit tricky. It's a bit hard to control to an extent. So, but there's definitely room for the teaching, and obviously, even if you make it like again completely soca, which they have done, they have tried that. If you and they have done in the past, for example, 2017, 2018, we had soca zones where the whole of Ladbroke Grove was a soca zone. So much to the point you weren't even allowed to play palance because of the sheer magnitude of what that song will do movement wise. You can't play a song like palance. Just like how you couldn't play that Garage and Grime song Power by Lethal B because the sheer magnitude of what it's going to do. But again, some people will play it just to get the crowd response. And again, like was mentioned, we live in our multicultural society. If we have second, third generation Africans now who are like Black Star embracing this part of their culture, because remember the carnival comes from Africa, with all due respect, but we're not having Afro beats involved. We need to play more Afro soca. Do we need to introduce it in a way, like you said, in snippets and pockets to control the crowd? So you can play your dancehall, you can play the reggae, because even the guy that runs Notting Hill Carnival, Matthew, he said in the health and safety meeting, yes, you can play the reggae. They're not going to tell you not to play reggae because, hey, the Jamaican diaspora is the biggest Caribbean diaspora in the UK, and we brought the sound system culture. So it's going to be very hard to tell us not to play the reggae in Notting Hill when it's us that is the reason why it's there in the first place. So there's a lot of to and fro, a rock and hard place to discuss and deal with. And I just want us to bear that in mind when we're having these conversations. It's not just a simple, oh, move them to Hyde Park, because that won't solve your issue, because people are going to come to carnival to see the costumes, and they're going to come and see their auntie, their cousin, their this and that. Another suggestion some people have made is charging. Maybe we need to start charging people to come on, and that will maybe deter people or control the kind of people that you expect. And also, if you move it to a different part of Notting Hill or the West London area, you can probably better crowd control and see, you know what? Let's see if we move it here and hey, Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea, which is one of them, which is the main borough, and Westminster. Put your money together, like Dexter said, and one, deal with the toilets, and two, give us fencing like they have in Miami Carnival, where you're fencing the whole route. And that way, but again, Miami Carnival, people like to mention it because it has fencing, but again, you can fence that route because it's on a university grounds. It's easier to fence that because you're not blocking anybody's house. But it's hard to fence somebody in and out of their own house, because if I want to sit, like what Keisha saw, if I want to sit on my window and look at the carnival, and maybe I don't want to hear any more soca or any more reggae, I want to play some drum and bass on my house, I should be well within my right to do so. Can I tell you not? Can I stop you from playing music from your bedroom window? No, but you will see the people enjoying the soca same way and likewise. So it's a lot of conversation that needs to be had, that it's not a straightforward, simple answer. And the police are going to tell you, hey, for crowd control and traffic control, we need to do it like this. Also, bear in mind that Leeds Carnival is on the same weekend, and that was the first Caribbean carnival in the UK. So it's the longest running one, and it's up there in the north, if you don't, it's outside of London, and they pull in big numbers. So you're splitting the police force between Leeds and London, UK wise, because there's a lot that come down to London and a lot that go up to Leeds as well. So it's all these things that we have to factor in when we're discussing music and crowd control and the policies there. Because again, a lot of people also complain that you're going to hear the same soca 6, 7 times because the DJs are not training themselves to play soca from 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019 right up. And I'm sure you guys will probably speak later on and say to me, yeah, we heard a lot of DJs repeating music, which didn't need to, because we've had Carnival, we've been without Carnival for so many years now that we shouldn't have an issue with playing the 2019, 2020 soca, 2021, and the 2022 soca. But some DJs were not versed. Some DJs are still in coaching and reminding, because again, you're 2 years out. You can forget things, you understand? So there's so many things to factor in and bear in mind. But let me go to Miss Ponroad. You can find out from her what she feels about the music policy. Should it definitely be soca? And remember as well, let me quickly add that the carnival committee also say that the music policy for the road is samba, steel pan, calypso, zouk, soca. Those are the five genres for carnival. And obviously, soca compromises all the quote unquote subgenres. So the jab jab, the bouillon, you can even think company, you can put the reggae under that, etc. So remember, soca, steel pan, samba, calypso. But Miss Ponderoad, let me hear from you. Music policy, not in carnival.
Me, okay, so music policy for me for Notting Hill Carnival, yeah, my number one love is soca. So I grew up in the mass band camps with my grandparents, so I've been doing this from small. Um, I think the route needs to be soca, calypso, steel pan, samba. I'm happy with all those takes of Caribbean music. Yes, reggae and dancehall is a Caribbean music, so and being part Jamaican heritage, part of me is like, I like a little dance, so I'm not gonna lie. Understand it is what it is, and it's part of the Caribbean. Um, the Afro beats, okay. Until Burner Boy did his last, and everything went off the Richter scale, I would have been like, yeah, include a bit of Afro beats because obviously the Caribbean culture is born from African culture, your history and stuff like that. So I respect it from that point of view. However, that last song and Burner Boy is a whole different
Overkill.
altogether. So, but on the whole, I'm not even too, I don't mind a bit of Afro beats in there. What I do object is the rap, the hip hop, the grime, the techno, yada la di da di da, indie, whatever trance music, whatever label we want to put, all them kind of them high pitch, high frequency thing there. Miss me. And those things do not belong on the parade. If you're on the interior in the sounds, which I think the sounds, if they want to play those music, that is fine. But yet again, it's not a festival, it's carnival, and everything should be, I think, a derivative of Caribbean culture to, respect the Caribbean culture. So some might say like hip hop and rap, and they've got elements of that in there. Maybe so. I'm not really a big hip hop and rap fan, so I can't really speak too much on that. But for me, they're just no-nos. I don't mind hip hop and rap in its place, but not a carnival. If you think it's carny or a street party or a festival, then yeah, you'll be okay with those music there. But for me, Notting Hill Carnival, no, it's soca, calypso. I can reggae, dancehall, a little bit of Afro beats on the route. But yeah, I'm happy for those. Even so, if they want to stop out with reggae and dance on the Afro beats and put them on the sound, I'm all right with that. I can work with that as well. So yeah.
This is the thing. You can't go to Diwali festival or even Ghana Day because they have Ghana Day. They have their African days and so on, and expect to hear any other thing other than their cultural music. So why is it that we are the
Exactly.
only culture that has to be invited and open into every other culture, and we can't
Mm-hmm.
Right.
our own
Let
culture
me
have our own?
let me
Every
jump
other
in here.
culture, go on,
Let me jump in here quickly. So, for example, a lot of people have said that, and I appreciate that viewpoint. But again, that's not exactly entirely true because, for example, Afro Nation, which everybody knows about, everybody's attended, they do incorporate dancehall and reggae. They have, for example, booked Buju. So they are incorporating the culture in and Budgies are artists who, for the most part, is not for their audience. That their main audience wouldn't know the Buju songs because they're not of that age or of Jamaican or Caribbean descent like that, where they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I grew up on Buju. No, they might know one and two things. They might know Driver, and that's it. So you know one song from Buju, but you would still book him to come just because you're trying to unite and cater for the Caribbean diaspora. Afro Nation had a Dream Weekend stage. Their Puerto Rico staging, they had the soca artists there, they had the Patrice, they had the Machelle. You understand? So again, your the argument is semi-flawed. Like I understand what people are saying, but you can't just whitewash it like that, unfortunately. So it's tricky. Again, I agree with Miss Ponderoad. A sprinkle of Afrobeats is good. This year, people are gonna play the biggest song for the year because and it's last. You're lucky it wasn't another hip hop song or something. Then you would have been even more mortified because then you you have nothing to even say it's cultural like that. So, like what Trini Supervisor said, let's sprinkle the Afro beats. Even my band, I said to the DJs, listen, you guys have played last too many times now. Do not play it again, or I'll take you off the truck. Like, don't do it. Like, you're doing too much. Like, where is the soca? You have 4 or 5 years of it. So I agree with you both. Definitely, there's there's the need for that, but a sprinkle of Afrobeats, because even people are saying on the road, if I'm hearing family 6 times in a row, I also have an issue. So
Yeah,
continue,
too
Dexter, and
much.
then I'm going to go to
There's,
Black Star.
there's, there is a lot of soca from all the
I was,
years and
Oh,
all the islands,
I
all
was
the
just
islands,
about to
all
say
the years for DJs to struggle to find soca music to play.
thank you.
This is the thing, Carnival, and this is the thing as well. People just complain that they don't want to hear soca the rest of the year, right? This is the one thing as well.
Wild.
So why is it that where soca is the most appreciated, which is Carnival, we're getting less and less of it because we want to hear other genres? So then soca's just losing again. Remember, soca's been around a very long time and yet still hasn't made it to the global scale of how Afrobeats just came on the scene recently in 2010 and exploded. All these other genres has made its scene on the has made
but
its way on
sorry,
the.
but you know the DJs, like, can I just say, like, you've got a flags mass band. Okay, you choose your DJs for the day, Sunday and the Monday. Do the DJs ever communicate amongst
No,
each
they
other?
don't.
Say, like, this is my playlist, my playlist, because it's just like you've all got a very similar playlist. And I have music, so I know when
I
music
can
comes.
speak on that. So, you have to bear in mind as well that the local DJs and even the international or overseas, I like to call them overseas DJs, people come to Notting Hill, and I'm sure Keisha would agree, with a perception. It's like, oh yeah, I'm coming to Notting Hill Carnival. It's London, it's a metropolis, so I've got to play a bit of everything. We've had the complaints where DJs are playing Spice Girls on the road. Like, we
Which
we
man did that?
I'm not gonna say which band did that and which year, but we all know the DJ and we all know the band very well. But I'm not in the business of naming and shaming unnecessarily. But it happens. So again, it's a thing of you guys are right. Now, for example, some bands now are testing out their training, their up and coming, their new DJs. So that new young DJ might not have, say, for example, the 2016, the 2017, the 2015, the 2014 soca. So
But why?
again,
Let
hold
me
on,
play, let me play a
hold on,
song.
They
Let me,
hear it and
hold
they
on,
know.
listen.
hold
Why
on.
can't they download it?
Yes, that's fine it's fine for you to say why can't they? Why can't they? Not everybody knows how to or gets access to. It's not everybody gets access to everything like that. So let's just take it easy right there, sir. It's not everybody doesn't, because I'm sure there's some soccer that you have that I don't have and vice versa. You don't have it, I don't have it. Simple as that. The bigger issue, or another not the bigger issue, but another issue we need to look at is how do you play for Carnival? Because, for example, if we're following Super Tuning vibes and we're saying, you know what, it's Sunday, we're gonna play it nice and easy and for the kids, then what songs are we playing exactly? And how are we gonna build that vibe? Really and truly. And then on Monday, when you have the adults come, every band, for the most part, especially if you're a long standing band, not one of the bands that are now building up on a hype, not one of the bands that are a dirty mass band, and then on Monday, they do costumes. So you have a hype following you, where you have the young people, say 24 to 30, 35. What about the people that are older? They don't want to hear certain things. They want to hear certain things. So how do you cater for everybody? And you're looking down at the crowd, and then the first row of people in front of you are not moving. The middle row is moving, and then the older people at the back of the back in the back row are in t-shirt, and they're not moving because they want to hear a certain kind of song or a certain year. That's what they're looking for. So it's all about gauging that and how you play that, and then also taking your time to build up to judging point. Have you done a routine? What's the song for the routine? So there's a lot of elements in it that also you don't want to remember, especially with on Monday, you all know. When you come onto Kenzo Rise and you're coming around to judging point, that's a 3 hour chip in itself. You can go through a lot of soca in that 3 hours, and then you're done. Sorry, your music is done. You get to judging point, your music is done, and what you're gonna start doing repeating. So again, that's where now you'd sprinkle in the reggae, a sprinkler, Afro beats, and then
But
you
that's
go to the
what
calypso.
I
I'm
Or
just gonna interject there just quickly, please. I just don't think we need a sprinkle. Sorry. We've got,
Okay.
as Dexter says, sorry.
Mhm.
I know everyone's got their daggers out, right? Well, I'm sorry. It's the one time of the year, okay, that I get to put on my costume and I get to pelt waist, do the
It's not the
most,
one time of the
and
year because
no,
you have
for
the Juve
carnival.
events as
No,
well
no,
and the
no, no,
fest.
no. Forget about,
In
because remember, for
costumes,
some people, they're not traveling. For some people, they're not into international costumes. I mean, carnival. Sorry, bear with me, children. Sorry, I'll finish the point in just a moment. I've got mummy duties here. 1 second.
so yeah, that's fine. So again, I feel like again, I'm not saying play them over. What I'm saying to you is there's the music policy, of course, I've stated it. Mostly soca, calypso, samba, steel band. That's fine. Run that, do that. But then it's also a thing of how do you play that for carnival? So it's the
Sorry.
education, like Star said. So we need to implement that more because again, I've seen people come and complain from some of the top bands that oh yeah, the song's repeated, but okay, really how was it repeated? Like when you start to break it down, it's like what was it repeated? Because if we're playing 100% soca, you're gonna get some repeats because
No,
No, no, no, no.
no,
But
no.
this,
That
this
mean
is
the
my thing. This
DJs.
is what I'm saying
That
because
mean
you're gonna
this
get
is what I'm
you're
saying.
gonna get
I
you're
mean,
gonna get some repeats of simply because of like I said, you're not remember not everybody's gonna want to hear the soca from 2012. And furthermore, if you're
I
getting to your
don't
band
mind.
late, hold on,
I
if
don't
you're getting to your
mind.
band late, if you're getting to your band late, you're gonna miss certain things. So what you don't want to hear certain songs? I'm sorry.
Okay. So let me interject quickly and try and finish the point I was trying to make earlier before I got interrupted by the little one, right? My thing is this, yeah. There is so much soca
Mhm,
that could be played, right?
mhm.
For 2022,
There's a lot.
have we actually has anyone actually heard all of the top tunes
Nope,
from all the
nope,
islands for
nope,
2022,
nope, nope.
right?
And
And if the answer is no, then why not?
mhm,
Yeah? And that's the biggest issue that is bugging me at the moment, right?
When you
None of
say
the other bands, other than probably Isle of Mass and I think maybe RDR, again, I could only vouch for those because obviously I was with them. But then obviously I'm speaking to other people who are in other bands. One of the top tunes for Grenada at this moment is Finally, yeah, by Vaughan.
mhm.
Who else is playing it? Has
Yeah,
anyone else played it?
nope.
Like there's a few people that was like, oh, I've heard this song. Yeah, I think I heard it before and such, but I'm not really familiar with it or whatever. You know, and then we complain that people don't know the new music. But
Mhm,
again, the opportunity's been given at something like Notting Hill Carnival.
mhm,
This is the time to be playing the new music because all the carnivals have just been completed. There
mhm,
are people that were out there who could take in the vibes as well and encourage people to embrace the top tunes and everything. Like, let's stop playing the nonsense. Let's stop playing Palance 20 times. Let's
My
stop
band
playing
didn't play.
Family 20 times. Like, how many times do I need to hear Palance and Family? Like, it's ridiculous.
mhm,
I could guarantee there's, even if each DJ just said, right, boom, I'm going to play some of the top 10 songs from each of these islands from the recent carnivals, it would actually help and make a difference to your enjoyment, to educating people about these new music, about
mhm,
those new tunes.
mhm.
How is soca going to grow if we're going to keep doing this stripperness?
the thing is you keep saying play the top 10, which
I'm,
limits it
I'm, and
because
hypothetically, it doesn't even
even
need
if
to be. It could be
and
12, it could be
also
5, but at least I will hear it and I'm not going to be hearing Family play 20
Mhm.
times for the day.
I mean,
right.
my band, luckily, there was one section. I mean, my band did not play good. I'm sorry. The band I was with did not play good. I was very frustrated with the music and the repeat
And
very soon and very often. Your time span of, after 3 hours, you might repeat. I wouldn't mind repeating it after 3 hours. What I'm talking about is after 15 minutes, I'm hearing the same song
Okay,
again
then definitely, yeah.
and
No,
again.
listen,
that's my problem.
listen
But
to the music. Listen to the music my band played. Wait, wait, wait.
What was
You
it?
hear it? We found love in a hopeless place. We
Oh,
found.
come on, man. You're taking a biscuit. But you know what? I'm going to name, I don't know if I should name and shame, but Okay,
is your platform. If you
you know
trust the
what?
name
Let it
and
just
shame, that's
not
all
say
on you.
nothing. But there was a DJ, a top soca DJ with one of the top bands. This would have been 2016. Okay, and he's an international DJ. He did he was playing them kind of tunes there as well,
The whole way through.
So
right?
yeah, I feel like
It
again,
was dance. He did a dance segment,
I feel like again, like I said,
and then I went on the truck to sit down.
I feel like again, like we're all in agreeing, we're all in unison and in agreement that definitely soca can rule the road. I don't know if it means going back to now CMA and saying, do we need to implement a soca zone for sure, soca zones, and then do we need to start finding mass bands, finding the well, you can't find the DJs,
Matthew,
you have to find the mass bands.
Matthew himself, this is the thing. The CEO of Notting Hill said himself, all he wants to hear is soca on the route. If the CEO of Notting Hill Carnival is saying that, then
Exactly. Big up Matthew.
I guess when he does that, because he's gonna have a meeting soon, and I'll let Nye know when that meeting is happening. He's gonna have
Yeah,
a
me
meeting
and
soon.
Dexter will
Yeah.
attend.
Yeah, so I went to Giselle yesterday, but he's gonna have another meeting soon with the mass bands, and that's the one I'm looking forward to, because the one yesterday was with the residents. You're gonna hear a lot of racistness with the residents. Yesterday was just a whole lot of noise from the residents. The one I want to attend to is with the mass bands, because there's a lot of logistics that need to be put into place with mass bands, making sure their DJs play correctly, making sure a lot of stuff, because we have to take accountability of what we're doing as mass bands as well on the road to make sure things are falling into correct
And
place.
DJs communicating with each other.
Yes, definitely.
DJs for the track, for your
Yes,
band, communicate.
yes,
Like, I
definitely.
might say, like, okay, you know what, I might do a little solution segment because I got enough of that music. I'm gonna throw that into my little when it's my set. And next one might say, well, you know what, I'm gonna concentrate. I might go back to the 80s and throw a little 80s mix in my set. Alongside all the other up-to-date tunes and the ones that keep playing, just to mix it up. But then it also makes you aware of that DJ, because the only DJ that stood out on my track that I was on was the guy that came with a little solution section, and it was refreshing. And then he just disappeared, and I wanted to come back because we're back to the same old dead soca palance family and ting for the 100th time. And it was fact I didn't leave my flow and how the crowds were. Normally I go off and roam, but this is the 1 year that I was actually stuck with the flow, and the music, yeah, didn't keep me going.
Black Star, hold on 1 second. Black Star. Let me hear from Black Star quickly, then Dexter.
Nah, let Dexter finish his point.
Go through Dexter.
I was gonna say, you'd be surprised, because you keep saying people get bored of soca and so on the road. The people that will be bored of soca, that's weeding them out and making the space for people that actually care about soca on the road.
Right. Facts.
So if you're bored of soca and you don't want to hear soca on the road, then I guess Carnival's not the place for you, and you need
Stay
to go.
home.
I feel like
home.
a lot of people think that, and I mentioned this earlier. You think that would happen, but again, it's not as simple. It's not like you're spraying a cockroach and then they're gonna run up. No, it's Carnival.
The thing is, it's so influential. I'll tell you from my experience. I have videos of it. When my band was playing soca, the masqueraders was there. The second they played last 4,000 people out of nowhere. I have the video of my phone. 4,000 people out of nowhere came and swarmed my band, ram-packed this, and then the DJ went back to soca. They dissipated out of nowhere. Literally, music has the power of doing that.
Perfect. Good. You mentioned that point. So when that happens, what do you think happens with that crowd control? So Kisha's trying to find rain. She's coming up along behind your band. Your band has done that soca, Afrobeat, soca. So when that second soca comes in and the people now come back now out and come along the route and are doing that traffic movement, she's going to get caught in that crossfire. So no matter what genre you play, the people are going to move. The people are going to move. So
this is the thing. There was a lot of gap, because I'll show you videos. As much as you think it's rammed, there was a lot of gap. There was a lot of gap. So it comes down to crowd control. How to crowd control again.
So do you think then? Okay, so do you think then there should be instructions to the sound systems to play soca as well? Because I don't feel like the sound systems are given that, constriction to say, play some soca as well, because in that way you're kind of hearing it here and here So you might as well just stay here where you know you're going to get back to your dance hall soon, rather than you moving from it to come into the. Because I remember when I was much younger, coming to Notting Hill Carnival, you went to the sound systems first. You had your time at Rampage, Lord Gelly's, King Tubby's, etc., etc. And then in the evening now, when you're bored of hearing everything, I say like, you know what? I want to hear some soca now. And then now you come and find the mass bands as they're coming up along Ladbroke Grove to end their session, and you join, and then you hear the tiny whinies, and you hear the DJs play the old school soca. So
imagine now then, okay, you're leaving the sound system that's here and there, and you're coming on the road and you're hearing more of the music they're playing on the sound system. You wanted to come hear soca on the road, and you're hearing the same music they was playing on the sound system.
So then it's a crazy position to be in. Kisha, let me hear from you quickly again. Tell us what songs. Tell us your top 20 songs you'd have loved to hear, or did you hear at Notting Hill Carnival once you got into your band reign? Because you guys had some amazing DJs.
I can't complain. The music with our band was on point. It was on point. So if I said I was disappointed in any way, shape, or form, or they played a song I didn't want to hear or I couldn't vibe to, I'd be a liar, So in regards to the whole, like, not playing like Afro soca or Afro beats, and I just think at the end of the day, sorry, excuse me, let me backtrack a little bit. I think no matter what, Carnival, it's an emancipation and celebration of emancipation of slavery, of us, as Caribbean people as a whole. We're celebrating the music and everything like that. I think no matter what, like, all island music should be played. And I think there's so much music and so much options to hear from, and me, I love hearing Afro soca on the, Afro beats. I keep saying Afro soca. Afro beats on the road.
You say Afro soca as well, because that is what the original, some of the artists do. People do the Afro soca to combat that, just Afro beats or just strictly soca. So you're right, you can say that.
Right, and I love hearing Afro beats on the road. I just love hearing, like, just the respect to the culture altogether, So, and I do think in regards to, like, from a logistics standpoint, like carnivals everywhere. You can see them growing, especially in places other than the islands. That it's always changing. Like you mentioned earlier, that the carnival's been moved from one area to the next. Same things happen in Toronto, right? So I think as it grows, and you see that there's some issues there, there has to be some changes made, right? For sure. But in regard to like, even how you're saying, like, there's this expectation that you're going to hear all genres of music, then maybe there needs to be other little small festivals happening in different areas, but the concentration of Notting Hill Carnival, that's the term of it. You're expecting to hear island music, some African music, like all of that. I'm not trying to hear techno beats and what do you say, Spice Girls on the road, like that blew my mind.
EDM. Nah. Definitely.
Yeah, like, I'm not flying halfway around the world in a celebration of my culture as a Caribbean person to be winding down low to
Macho,
Spice
Macho
Girls.
Man.
Yeah, I heard that too. I was like, what's happening? I just also think it's kind of insulting too to the Caribbean culture as a whole. You have this event called Notting Hill Carnival, and then it's a celebration of the emancipation of slavery. It's a celebration of the Caribbean culture, and then you're throwing in playing techno music and hip hop music. Not to say that some rappers are not of Caribbean descent, but it's just that you're pulling away from the focus where we have these short weekends worldwide that is representing of the Caribbean culture, and we're not celebrating it to the magnitude it needs to be.
Agreed.
So that was just my perspective of it. And even here in Toronto, we have the same issue, but it just, some things have been changed up. You know what I mean? It's been changed up. Like, like I said earlier, we've had some years where we had like a reggae truck, some years where we had like a hip hop truck. They don't have costumes and all of that, but they have their people that, those trucks are designated for a specific genre of music, but you would never hear techno music on the road. Like, that's wild to me. That was wild. But and I guess also in defense of the DJ, like us as people who go out, you do know DJs tend to want to fulfill the needs of the crowd, or what type of people are in the crowd and stuff like that. But
That's it.
I think them doing that, they're also not fulfilling the whole reason that the event started. So that to me is like really heartbreaking because like, you know, my grandparents, my great grandparents, they were involved in carnival in Trinidad, you know what I mean? So like I make it a very important thing in my household. My daughter's been playing mass since she was 2 years old. She's 14 now. You know, like I just think like we can't lose sight of the culture. And when you're doing all these other stuff and, you know, we're losing sight of the purpose, you know? So that's just my perspective of it. But music wise, our band was on point both of those days. But yeah, all those other trucks, I think that when you guys have your next meeting, they have to remember what is the reason we're there. You know, it's kind of like when you're in a relationship, like what was the reason you two fell in love? You know what I mean? What was the reason that we started this? We wanted to build this, you know? They're losing sight of those things, and that's not good.
Definitely. So, are we then in agreement? Dexter, I probably you probably jump and say yes straight away that should now the mass band start getting fined? One and two, should we definitely then trial for next year? Should we trial it for next year or push it for next year? That every band on the road, 100% soca all day from the time you're warming up on the sidelines before police let you in, right till you leave off the route, 100% soca, and you work it right from the 90s, right come up.
It allows the DJs to be more creative. It allows them to actually put effort into building their crate for DJing on that day, because again, a lot of them is lazy. They just want to get the crowd going. So so yeah.
But also, but in their defense, the crowd is not responsive to certain things. Like I was saying to you before, sometimes you play an old school soca and the crowd is looking at you like, "Why are you
Yeah,
playing
that's
this?"
fine. You're educating them. If you play, this is the thing. You
It
play
is.
you play enough, they will like it. Trust me. This is the one thing I realize. I remember, and I see this all the time. I remember there's certain tunes that, and I keep going back to this exact same story. When Bungie Garlin released this tune in it was what was the name of the song? And I was in Soca Frenzy that year, and in February, everyone stood up still watching it, like, what the hell is this? And then 6 months later, those same people that are just stood up, standing up, watching it, was jumping up for joy to that exact same tune. So yeah, some people might be like, what the hell is this? But you play it enough and get people used to this sort of music, they will appreciate it over
Yeah,
time.
but you're talking about playing it in a fit and then playing it again at Carnival. I'm talking about, like Nye said, if people are only coming out to Carnival, they're not going to any fets, they're not going to any of the juves, they've just come out to Notting Hill
And
Carnival.
let them know all the music, all the old, all the
You
new,
let
because
it run.
educating.
Brilliant. Black Star. Let's hear from you, my brother.
No, yeah. So to go off the sound system thing, obviously feedback I got from some of my people that are part from the committee, they're saying that there's official sound system that's meant to be in and around Carnival, but there's a lot of unofficial ones there that was clogging up the route and clogging up the areas and everything and all stuff. So like one example, on Goulburn Road, no problem, no issue with Benja, but he had like a Benja sound system there, which to me I feel like was affecting the route because obviously they were doing their own thing. You have masses of crowd people, the truck is trying to come through and they can't actually maneuver because enough people are in the road, vibing into whatever music is being played. And the Benja sound system was very jumpy. So as a placement, that was actually a poor placement for it to be there. So I don't know how it goes. So like when in the meetings, like where do they decide what sound system goes where, what's safe, and then even then on a health and safety point of view, do they even look at the routes and map it out and be like, okay, cool, like potentially can people move here, move there? If they open up here, what's the effects? Because you can't keep making the same mistakes over and over again and expecting the same thing to happen, because that kettle neck situation happened where the police were squashed. Like if certain people didn't jump into the basement of them people's houses, they would have been squashed up against the fence. And it's like you have to look back and say, how does the issue get there like that? So the band that was with, we left early. So I think we even crossed the stage around 1 o'clock or 1:30 or something. So by the time we was coming back onto Ladbroke Grove, you can literally see droves of people literally just coming down to start their carney, as per se. And this is the case of, it's like I feel like there had to be a tactical point displayed by the police as to how to now funnel those people
Mhm.
across Carnival. So let's say you set up one way at a certain time, you'll be like, okay, cool. When these people are coming in through Labrador, we're gonna push them this way. Just like at the end, they push us all the way as far as down to Shepherd's Bush because obviously they lock off all these stations. So therefore, we have to go bush, and then people obviously go off by the wayside. So you have to bop to Paddington or bop to Bush, and then people disperse, and eventually they start to open the stations that are closer. And then also with on the topic of music, I definitely believe you can play 100% soca on the road. Having been to Trinidad Carnival in 2020, all I heard was soca. Like from the moment you land, all you're hearing,
Exactly.
all you're hearing is soca. You go KFC, obviously it was producers here that year, so you just say carry on. Everywhere you go, you just say carry on, this and that. And then on the subject of music, like of late, you've got rhythms that come out, and there's at least 4 different versions of it. Why are we only hearing the same? Why are we only hearing 2? Like
Yes.
there's 4 other different
Yeah,
versions.
the same
So,
two
Fact.
songs on the rhythm when
yeah,
there's actually
because you're
6
the
songs
same
on the
2
rhythm.
Yeah.
songs on that rhythm. So you have 4 to choose from. So you can actually rotate and have plenty of
Mhm.
music
Fair
going
point.
about. So in that aspect, yes. And then on the subject though, I definitely believe some DJs are being a bit lazy. It's a case of if it's a craft, it's like I just like everything creative. So it's like there are some DJs, I forgot this guy's name, but he's been on Credible's boat ride and stuff where he'll play like a soca tune, but then he'll run another rhythm underneath it. So it could be like a well-known rhythm. It could even be pop, but it could be soca, and it just fuses it. So there's ways that you can be quirky.
Oh,
You
that,
can
that,
be
that
quirky.
sounds like Danny
That's
D
it.
playing,
Being creative.
Yeah,
Being
you can be
playing the
creative.
yeah,
Neo soca. Big up Danny D.
yeah, you can be
Danny D
creative with
playing
it.
Neo
Like no one
soca.
is saying like you
Yeah.
can't play a dancehall rhythm, like a nice dancehall rhythm, or you know what I'm saying, or something. And then there's soca on top of it. Like even like during lockdown, the guy who done the mashup where like you have mashup and choose. I like it like this. When you give me that
Oh
fast
yeah,
one,
yeah.
yeah,
You can even play last, but a
Brilliant.
soca version.
yeah, exactly. Like you could do
That was
that over a rhythm.
fantastic.
So like, so there's nothing wrong with music, and even if it's just for like a minute or two, like obviously you want to
Yeah.
slow down. The DJ might want to take a break, have it because obviously they're human in it. They're not robots, so they might want to take a little break. Just you can play like a wind down, something that is acceptable. But then, I think people saying you have Afro soca. That's where like Afrobeat artists have done collaborations with
Soca
Yeah.
artist.
Caribbean artists. You can play that as a fusion. Like you don't have to
Exactly.
play the TikTok song or the song that's gonna
Yeah.
garnish the crowd and everything and all stuff like that. And then I was gonna say who even organizes, let's say, the order of the band, because I think as Jamaican Twist, like they proudly say they're the only Jamaican band on the road,
Yeah,
etc., this and that. But I'm not too sure if they actually play soca or they just
they
literally just
do.
They play
They do
soca
play
as
soca.
well.
They play
they play
soca.
soca.
Every band.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Black Star.
Yeah.
Every band, because now we're gonna. I'm glad you mentioned it because that takes right into the carnival truck
Yeah.
drama. So every carnival truck has to play soca.
Right. But
Obviously,
how much of a percentage though? Because
the
at the
majority,
beginning,
obviously, because
yeah,
there's nobody physically standing there listening to you and monitoring and checking
yeah,
you per se. Like then, obviously, you're just told you have to play majority soca, and obviously, it will come back to the relevant senior people because if there's an incident happens, like how Dexter has videos of his truck, people
yeah,
will have videos of you, and obviously, the residents that live in the area, they will, if they don't like what you're playing, like for example, when you go past Trini corner or Bayesian corner or the Guyanese corner or the Grenadian corner, if you're not playing any of their music,
yeah,
one of them old people is going to whip out their phone,
yeah. Okay.
record you, and report you.
When I
So
was young,
Yeah.
touching on that, when I was younger, I remember staying on Grenada Corner, and every truck knew that when you reach the Grenada Corner, it's big up the Grenadian people. Let's play Grenada music. Nowadays, they lost all of that.
yeah, nowadays,
Yeah, I
bands
noticed
are
that as
yeah,
well, Dexter.
bands are not paying
And
that.
and and what used to annoy me when some of the bands that did used to go past Grenada Corner, if they did play a Grenadian song, it was always what's it called? Towfree's one.
Yeah,
I play now
Oh
wiki job. I play now wiki job. For all the man we taking home.
the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah,
I-
oh, woman,
yeah. I think how we've come to this.
sorry, I got cut off.
Sorry.
My internet went a bit iffy. Yeah,
Sorry.
they would not play. Sorry, my pet peeve with that, sorry, is play. Why not play a Tau Pre 22 then?
Mm-hmm.
You know what
They
I
don't know.
mean?
They don't.
We're
Yeah.
supposed to be educating people about the new music. Like
Mhm.
play the current songs. You know, you're going past Grenada Corner, play a current Grenadian song. Okay, cool. You could go dip it back a little piece if you wish, but at least play one of the biggest songs, like Road March. It used to be traditionally you go past Grenada Corner, you play the Road March of Grenada of that year,
Mhm.
All right. What
and
what
we've lost that.
And
what
because
DJs need to do?
Labrador Grove as well.
What DJs need to do? If you're a DJ, it's your job. This is your job, right? So it's for you to do your research. Why? If you know you're DJing for Carnival, go and research what is St. Lucia, Antigua,
Road
Trinidad,
March.
Grenada. Find out all their top 5 songs. That's all. You even just need to know their 5 top songs from each of those islands.
True.
Yeah,
But I
and just
think it's
put that in
very
your
essential to know the road marches for each
even that,
island as well. Represent,
and put
yeah?
that in your
Because
point.
there are people who are from those islands that want to hear the road march. Play the bloody road march.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they don't. Again, another issue. Trini Corner is another one. It's always sweet, sweet TNT that gets played at Trinidad
No,
Corner.
I
I'm
didn't hear
like,
that this year.
Trinidad
Yeah,
has
I
got
didn't hear
so
that this
many
year.
songs
I
that
didn't
you
hear
can
that this
play
year.
that is also patriotic.
They
You're
played
And
showing your
one
age
song
there,
has
now,
Play
because
never
nobody
been.
ain't
Family
play
Lily
Sweet
this
Sweet
year.
TNT in
What was
years.
that?
You're
They
showing
played
your age now, because nobody ain't play Sweet Sweet TNT by
No,
Trinity
no, no,
in
no. But
years.
I'm just saying, like, I know typically that would always get played, right? No, but I don't
Play
even have an
Family Lily.
issue with it. Okay, play it, but at least play another patriotic Trini song on in Trini Corner.
Play the
For
I
one.
think as
example,
well.
a song that no one ever plays really at Trini Corner is Destra Trini Way. You can't get more patriotic than that.
But again,
Like,
it's
does anyone even know it? I bet no one on this chat even knows it.
Destra Trini way. I think I've heard it once. I'm not gonna lie, probably just once. I'm not gonna
See,
pretend I
that's
know it.
terrible.
Of course, but again, not everyone's gonna know every single song, and this is
I
and then
know,
exactly
but
this is what
I'm
I'm trying
just
to say.
saying.
So imagine if there's a
Like,
band of people like you.
we're in
So
Trinity Corner. We're gonna do something patriotic.
No, but
It's
as
not
you
just sweet
know,
TNT.
all DJs know the popular tunes because you all
exactly, you can't expect to hear the one that you like the most because
No, 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 no. I'm saying if you're gonna do something traditional and patriotic, like
Mhm.
why not run some other rhythms that people are not that familiar with that is patriotic? You only need to play it for what, 30 seconds,
It's a bit
really,
more than
and then
that.
go on to the next one that's more popular.
Oh yes,
because
yes,
the
definitely.
because then
Also
even
as
when you're
well.
because then even you're coming up to those corners, if you have if you have an MC with you or someone or the brand manager or whatever, they can literally just say, "Yo, we're approaching this corner. We're gonna pay homage." I know, just do a little something, and that at least that way you're controlling the crowd basically. You're educating the people around you. Say, "This is what we're about to do," and
Again,
we take it
and
take it
and
that
it,
way.
and it goes back to the origins of what Carnival actually is. It's actually an educational tool to educate our history. So and one of the main part of our culture is our music. So why not utilize that platform to educate people on soca music?
Mm-hmm.
Big
Definitely.
up Jason in the chat. 100%. I 100% agree. I think most of us could probably agree with that. At the end of the day, play for the masqueraders.
Yeah.
They play their big set of coins for their costume, which is my
The
point.
masqueraders
So,
want to hear not bad in English, not bad in Spanish, but she bad in boom boom. And they want to
uh,
hear family.
what was that? Sorry.
The masqueraders want to hear not bad in English. And they want to hear start to run now, start to run now. Now put your guy in the air, in the air. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
yep, yep, yep. I don't mind. I don't mind.
But speaking
all
on
them.
that as well, I'm glad you've all mentioned this. So it's really good. And big up Nigel for saying leaflet and distribute. Um, if we're looking at it logistically again, Trini Corner is right after judging point.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, if we're thinking like what Dexter just said as well, if we're planning as DJs ahead of time, we're gonna pick basically a Trini song to do to do the stage at judging point. So you just keep it in that flow. Because as soon as you finish judging point, you come what's that left? That's Trini Corner all the way around, and then you come up straight. You can keep in Trini, and then you can once you go a couple probably 100 meters or so away from Trini Corner, then you can go back into the greens and the Vinci and the Beijing and the
I was
Antique and the
I was
Chinese.
I disagree with that because then that way the whole point of the judge, it's kind of like you want to hear what the road march as well from each band. So if every band is playing,
Right.
then the
No,
other
not every band. No. I'm not saying not every
I
band has
mean,
to do that. That's just
yeah.
that's just a suggestion. It's not just play one Trini song. Obviously, you could
But-
play the greens. For example, you could
I
play a song that doesn't get played a lot is Voice and Tall Pre. So you could do a song like that where it's a collaboration between the two islands at Judging, and it
Yeah, that's
allows
true.
you to go into, because remember, if you're at Trini Corner straight after Judging Point, you're gonna want to play a song that has a Trini artist on it, so it's just easy to flow through to Trini Corner.
Nah,
Based on what you guys are
I
saying.
was happy. My band played Jab King High in Judging Point. I was loving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Never
That
see
was
it
a match.
again.
I was loving.
So there's definitely lots to
That
consider.
was
Let's talk about
was
that as
that
well. How
Monday,
did everybody
Dexter?
find
Sorry.
the stage with their truck?
Wait.
We're now
So
discussing the carnival truck. Sorry, Blackstar, go ahead.
before you go influential, I wanted to add one point to what Keisha was saying. So you see, regarding the Stormers, yeah, it's like, I don't know if this is possible, but one of my brethren mentioned it as a case of, because when I jumped in on Monday, it's like the stewards hadn't really got there, and I was literally looking at security, but they just literally look like stewards that you see at the O2 Arena or O2 Academy Brixton. So I can't really expect much from them, but what they actually need is coaching. So basically what we need as a culture and what we need for Carnival, I think you need Carnival stewards, people that know how to do the rope and organize, and let's say for Carnival. Obviously, I was looking back at my photos of Trinidad, like the guys were in all black militia. There's no way you're gonna try and storm them, because like there was a lot of them on the road. They're just walking up to the side. They're just blocking everything. So in terms of, let's say, managing the rope and everything, it's like how many people that manage the rope doing security are actually aware of the culture and how to
Somebody
do
said
things.
that there needs to be a security firm for Notting Hill Carnival mass bands where you supply. But again, how many people are you going to find in London that are 6 foot something, big and scary that know? Remember as well, a lot of these young people are coming there. If you're going to storm, you're going to storm. So
I hear that.
But you're right. I agree with you. You're right.
So it's like you don't have to be big and scary.
Because
you don't have to be big and scary. It's a bit tactical. So like your approach is somewhere, you start to spread out a little bit, be like, okay, cool, like we're coming out. Because me and my guys were even helping. I say, no, tell the rope guys, no, spread out now. This and that. Get the rope here, this and that, because obviously you can anticipate what's going to come. So experience comes into play with it. So you just need people just to be there. Just say you have people guiding the truck. Maybe you just need people guiding the street to be like, yo, widen the rope, tighten it, all sorts, and just to make it, just to try and make people's experience just that little bit better. Because Keisha was saying that they were just 3 man deep at one point. How are you narrower than the actual truck itself? So literally, should just try, just spread out, even in the people in the t-shirts, to just help, just spread the people out and be like, yo, this is it.
I think you're definitely right.
And then get the support from the council, police, and everything. Yeah.
So we're saying for Carnival truck dramas, we need more security. So Keisha, if you know anybody from Toronto that wants some work, they're tall, big and strong, or they're just big and strong, or they're just confident. Remember, we're not gonna separate the women and the men security. We want both. If you feel they can manage the rope, come through, and let's get this cracking, because we can't rely on Dexter alone to come and save us on the road.
I think you need to bring those guys from Trinidad. You know the guys from Trinidad when they come, the enforcement team, like that will beat up a man if you try to jump in the band. Like, let's bring those guys in, because those guys don't play,
Question.
Yeah.
I'm going a bit off topic, but I'm seeing a lot of people saying this. There's no Hackney Carnival this Sunday.
Because the Queen has passed away, everything gets cancelled, sir. Sorry.
Oh wow, for real.
Your Queen supersedes your Carnival, Dexter. I'm sorry. You're more than welcome to go.
My Queen's in Ghana, by the way,
Oh, what the ass, for real? Oh Lord.
But yeah, that's what happened. So basically, everything gets cancelled. Yeah.
So does work get cancelled?
Yeah, man, does work get cancelled?
Yeah.
Your employer.
You have to get 2 days holiday, innit?
Yeah.
Apparently so, but we don't know if we're gonna get that.
Electric bill cut, no bills. What?
Yeah, man, bills need to be cancelled too, for real.
You don't know already what's gonna happen, but you guys know your taxes are gonna is gonna pay for this funeral. Come on, guys.
Just open Weatherspoon.
Like me and Keisha and live abroad. We don't need to worry about this. We're good. we're good. But yeah, so apparently it's cancelled, but obviously we have to wait for further announcements.
Okay.
Obviously, it doesn't necessarily mean that if people want to go and do the route, like when it was 2020 and there's
Yeah,
no Notting Hill,
lockdown, yes. There was
I
genuine.
I picked up my drum and I walked around my area and I beat my drum all of the carnival like that. So if people really want to do carnival like they say they do, they'll pick up a drum, pick up a steel pan, and go and do the route and make their noise, and they'll be happy. They can drink their little rum punch and all of these things as well.
Next, you see that? Where's that?
Like,
A
look,
lot-
who's storming this band?
Yeah, nobody's storming that band.
Yeah, look at the security.
Look
Security
at that.
It's
serious.
very hard to storm that
Yeah.
band.
Security
I would
serious.
have loved that. I would have loved that.
You know what I'm
So,
saying? No
I
one
feel
is
like-
storming that band.
But then again, guys, it's gonna lead on to the next thing of, and this is what people don't like to discuss: the money.
I understand. Yeah.
If we're gonna hold
I've
on,
got figures.
hold on. If we're gonna increase the security, which is right, which is very right, and I agree, that means we're gonna have to charge more for the costumes.
Nope.
And
I got figures.
I'll happily do it for a discount.
Dexter,
of
tell us the
appreciating
figures.
it,
Sorry,
man.
tell us the figures, Dexter.
So this is the thing. The money that Notting Hill Carnival generates, it doesn't go back to the mass bands. If they did, then we could put this money into security and all of that. 194 million was made in revenue from Notting Hill Carnival this year.
Whoa.
Who does that go to? The government, the boroughs, and the people at the top. This is why London loves Notting Hill Carnival.
Yeah, this is why Notting Hill Carnival's not going nowhere.
Because
makes
it's such a massive money maker for the government. The government is taking all that money. Not there's not going back into Notting Hill Carnival. It's not going back to the mass marauders or the mass bands or the people that's putting in the work, the community. It's going directly to the government. So this is the issue, what we're finding here. If they put even an inch of that money back into the community.
Yeah, that's the million for each band. There's 70 bands, so that's 70 million.
Yeah.
It still would lead them 100 and something million.
Yep.
It's more than enough.
Yep. That way, each band can have toilets, each band can have security, each band can do so much. But no.
So yeah, like it does beckon you to wonder and think like, damn, how do we preserve this? How do we make this thing, safe for people, for all, and pleasurable for all? And again, that's another major question that impacts the carnival truck drama, because trucks, some bands, we heard about the driver that was drunk, and that's what caused the delay on Monday, because he was drink driving, and
Which band was that?
Backlog.
I heard that, but I don't know what band it is. I heard that.
Remember,
but
we
which
don't
band?
name and shame
Name
bands.
and shame.
No, we're not naming and shame bands.
Yeah, but this is nothing to do with a band. If a driver's truck,
No,
he's not
exactly. It's
what I'm
nothing to do
saying?
with the band.
That's
That's
like
right.
It does, because the driver is associated with the band by default. No, we're not doing that. The point of this is,
No, but
Messy.
what do we do?
It was a company they've used, and the driver works for that company. Then no,
The driver should not have been drinking.
we need to go back to the
yeah,
company.
but that's not on the band.
to dress their staff.
You lot are not going to get the answer, so don't worry.
The message
I'm not
me,
messaging you
Yeah.
nothing. What
Message
do we
to
think
the
of
WhatsApp
that?
group.
Should that, because as I'm aware,
Yeah.
when you register your mass band, you're meant to tell the heads of carnival and everybody the truck, the license plate for the truck, and the driver, his license, all of that stuff beforehand, before you get your permit to come on the road. So
Yeah.
if your driver is found drink driving, I don't know how quickly you can change drivers on that Monday. It's not like changing a generator, because some years we've had carnival truck drama where generator pop down and the supporting generator pop down as well. So then you got to go and borrow generator from somewhere way run away, and you're causing a backlog. That also causes traffic as well, where you have drunk drivers, trucks break down on people as well, and then people bands were joining other bands because their truck broke down. It's their first year. How do we feel about that? Do you also feel like it should be mandatory that if your truck broke down, you should be able to join another band's truck, or should the band just leave you there on the wayside?
Like, if there's enough camaraderie between the people, then like you should want to help your fellow masqueraders.
Why should I help you?
your fellow
because
bands.
your people that are gonna come and want to drink at my drink. They're gonna want to come and drink and piss up in my toilet and yam at my masqueraders' food. So
Remember, it's all
When we
anyway.
debrief afterwards, we'll sort that out after. Because I think something like that even happened on a Sunday where someone had a truck and the trucker wasn't available, so they now had to jump in. They had to borrow a next band's truck and could just quickly set up, to put something on for the masquerader. So you don't you don't plan for these events. These events just happen. So what more can you do? Just maybe just have to show a bit of
are you
humanity.
gonna give me some of your money as well for the
But like
inconvenience?
I said, after the debrief, we'll sit down and we parlay. We have a discussion, and then if shit goes tits up, then we're beefing. But until that point, you're a person in need. You need help. You're in a situation because it's kind of like imagine you paid your money to be a part of a band. There's about 150 of you. Because of said situation, you can't now have a carnival, and then everybody's just kicking you out, saying, "Nope, you're not here. You're not here." But it's a dire situation. I just thought probably easier said than done. I'm a bit of a philanthropist or whatnot, but I just feel like if you can help your brother, help your
Oh yeah,
sister.
they definitely did though.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
lie. Monday we did that. We did help out. We did support, but I
yeah.
feel like
Because I
sometimes
even heard a truck caught fire as well. I heard a truck caught fire, which is what delayed the route by like 60 minutes because everyone had to stand still for 60 minutes. So there was different things that happened. A drunk driver, a truck caught fire. There's different things like what really can
so
you do?
much.
People just play a
Yeah.
JBL speaker, just chip on the road. Like no, like you just try and help your people. You can transfer as many drinks from your truck onto the next truck. The staff there to help. And I don't know, just try and go about helping people.
So yeah, man, it's. I definitely agree. I definitely we need to. And again, this is like what Dexter's saying. When we have that meeting with the mass bands,
Mm,
it should be that camaraderie that come together and say, I've got you, you've got me. We help each other out and to the T and to the fullest respect. Cause it's not easy, especially when it's your first time. You're not prepared
yeah,
for it. Like things can go really left, right. Like sometimes you got to lend the band equipment. You might need to lend them. Like I know, for example, we lent
yeah,
a band equipment. Like, oh, we ain't got a microphone. We ain't got this. Like, raw, you lot. But it happens, innit? So, and especially when you're coming up to judging point, no band wants to be without a microphone at judging point because how are you going to tell your masqueraders what to do? Come over the stage. This is the song. That wave to the judges, wave to the VIP guests, etc., etc. So it's a lot. I think this year was. I think this year was a trial run for a lot of bands, new and established. Like to get like wet your feet again and get familiar again with the ropes. So, but yeah, Dexter, go ahead.
Another thing as well. One of the older guys in the meeting yesterday, he asked, what time officially does the music get cut off? And the CEO says 8:30. 8:30 is the official time.
okay.
Guess what time the police came on our float? 7 o'clock. Said
Seven,
shut
yeah.
off the music.
Bare
Yeah, the
people
police
got
are
down
shutting
for
off
seven.
because it's that's that crowd control and they're gonna do that and they've been doing that for years on Ladbroke Grove. And obviously, so like some depending on how thick and where you are on Ladbroke Grove, you might can make it to the 8:30, or depending on where you might not make it to the 8:30 because they're gonna lock you off because it's winding down time now. They want to get this crowd dispersed. So yeah, they're gonna stop you between 7 and 8.
I
And
remember
obviously, it also correlates to the sound systems because the sound systems are meant to lock off the
at
same time
7.
as us.
Yeah, at
So if
7.
they're not, then that's another conversation that needs to be had.
I remember when I was young and Carnival the sounds used to go up until 11. I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
11, 11:30, this
They,
going.
I remember following the bands, all the trucks, all up the Harrow Road, all the
Mhm.
way down to Bush. You just follow them.
Yeah, it would go down into
Yeah.
Shepherd's Bush. Yeah, they're still playing the
Back on the
loudest.
day.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
but as gentrification has happened and more people, come and complain or, you know, yeah.
You should,
This
yeah.
it's like how now all the dirty mass bands have to be together. It's like they say all back to back to back because before you lot could come on anytime you wanted in the route. Now you all have to be back to back to back together because the people and I was one of them. When you're young, you're excited, you're playing dirty mass, you take your paint or your chocolate. What? You in this white Porsche park outside this house? Take a paint, take a paint, take our next handprint, take our next this. Imagine
Trouble.
yeah, imagine 20 people all putting their hands on your white Porsche and they're winding up, leg cock up. But that is the carnival. That is the point of it. It's the revelry, the reverence, the bartering, like the no regard for the hierarchy and the society and oh my God. My darling, this is my brand new Mercedes GLA. Oh, and yeah, went for us dirty it up. So
Yo,
I
I
saw
was
one car off Goulburn Road, but had big yellow paint. I said, this person didn't get the memo, but they stayed over the night too long, but they should have moved their car.
I was bursting out laughing yesterday when one of the residents was like, she must have not had no carnival experience before, and that was maybe her first carnival. So I couldn't believe this war zone. That when she used that word war zone, you should have heard the black people attacked her down. Like she got shut down so quickly the second she used that word war zone. I was like,
Mhm.
these people are so.
And it's important to have those conversations and to shut people down like that, because they are the ones that, if you're not careful, they will literally twist and turn and change your carnival right beneath your eyes.
Mhm.
And I used to remember back in the day, a lot of people, like a lot of the residents, what they used to do
They
in
fly up.
dismay, they would leave for the
Yeah,
weekend. They would
fly
say,
up.
I'm going up to Leicester or Lancashire to go see my cousin or my aunt because it's carnival weekend. I can't stand it. Please go.
Yeah, they
We
have
need
the money to do that.
we need more of you leaving. Big up,
Yeah.
big up the residents though that stay and they offer their
Enjoy-
homes for
and
toiletry, for food. As
Oh,
a,
guess what? One of the main complaints again as well. They actually brought that up in the meeting. There were a lot of the residents was told they're not allowed to do that this year as well. So that's why this year as well we had a
why
lot
do you think they weren't? Why do you think
money.
that is? Because they don't want the residents to make that money,
Yeah,
to make
make
that
money,
bank.
exactly.
If I live on the route and I can charge you a £5 or a £10, you can come into my house and piss, and then as you're leaving you can buy a jerk chicken and a can of drink. Of course,
Yes.
I've made £20, and there's what 100 of you gonna come and do that in one day.
money.
Mortgage
Anything
sorted
they
that
do
month, boy.
because they don't want you to make that money. Why? Who are you to tell me who I can and can't have in my house?
What?
Facts.
Who are
Facts.
you to tell me who I can and can't have in my house? Why do I need a permit for somebody to come and use the toilet? Because I'm charging. You're cheeky.
Mm.
You can give them a little ringy ding down thing that they can piss in for free. But if I let them come into the comfort of my home and toilet paper to wipe their ass
Wash their hands good. You
and
understand?
wash their hand good
You know what I'm saying?
and
You
have
know,
a
Little lotion afterwards. You know,
yeah,
like,
get a
yes.
little lotion.
Yeah.
All right, love. Look how much people is drunk and disorganized along that route. They lose their friend. You know how much. You know how good it is to know that that there's residents along that route that will basically
Mm.
look after you. Probably need to charge your phone or something like that, and they're here. Because if that was me, I'm giving you everything. You want to charge your phone? Of course. Have a seat. You want something to
You
eat?
want to touch
Yeah.
up on stuff? You want to touch
You
up
want
on
water?
stuff? If I got
You
you.
want water to go as well? Yeah, I give you everything. On a 10 or a 20. Yeah, I don't mind.
Influential. You
But
know that
yeah,
Yes,
there's a
my son.
massive, there's a massive safety aspect to that, right?
yeah,
Yes,
Like,
of course, there's a
like
massive
when I
safety
mean
aspect to
massive, I
everything.
mean
Yeah, because somebody can
alcohol,
come into the house, they can attack you. They can
alcohol.
abuse.
People will go in the house and they wouldn't want to leave. Some
Yes,
people
I
will go
appreciate.
and
Mm,
say, I
yeah,
live in
true.
here now, right? Some people will go, they would totally destroy that place, right? And
Yes,
then they wouldn't feel accountable. So that's why it is the premise is don't allow it, but if you do, it's at your own risk. But we
of
said
course,
no.
of
You
course,
understand me?
most certainly.
So some of them will go in the kitchen and make themselves a sandwich. You
Yes,
understand?
I understand that, but
And
again, that's
and,
that,
and
that's an
serious peanut
extreme
butter and
example.
jelly all the way. You
That's an
understand?
extreme example.
Normal,
Yo.
And it's a serious like I've known people that they've literally said somebody's coming to my house and they don't want to leave.
man.
Maybe they was eyeing up the house for like months before. Saying I need to get inside the house to see what it is living that kind of lifestyle on that road. They don't want to
Agreed.
leave.
But that's why
It
it's for
does
you to
happen.
make a discretion of who you let in your house and who not to.
Of
Well, how are
course.
you going to make that discretion when it is you either saying, what, pay me £5 to walk in my house to go and pee and walk back out? Then you're going to have to hire security for your house, right?
Yes, Super Trudy. You call your cousins, man. You call your cousins and say,
Your
man,
big brother.
I'm in
Call it
work
Super
Who?
Trudy. I call it Super Trudy. Super
Yeah.
Don't
Trudy
call my
would
name,
do the
partner.
food,
Nobody call
and
me.
they're gonna have
Don't
Dexter
call me.
monitor security. Then they're gonna have
Don't call
Kisha
me. I am not
working
security.
the bar.
I take care of myself.
Listen,
I am
Super
here in the
Trudy,
morning.
you're doing the food.
You have
Keisha
Naya
will
at
be
the
doing the
door, man.
bar,
She'll suss them
and
out.
Dexter
Come up
will
and
be the
down and be like,
security.
cool, come through.
Don't call me.
Super Trudy, I'm calling you right after this done.
Don't
We're doing
call
it right.
me.
We're planning
I
from
ain't feeding
tonight for next
nobody.
year.
I ain't feeding nobody.
We're getting an
I ain't giving
Airbnb.
nobody no
Keisha
water.
coming down on the road.
Nothing.
You're gonna wear. You're gonna design it and thing it. Now you're gonna live stream it, and Black Star, you're just gonna hand out the leaflets.
Not
Yeah.
happening.
It's happening,
Okay.
man. It's happening.
That's another thing,
All
actually.
right. Okay. Yeah. It's happening. It's happening.
Yeah, that's
Dexter,
another,
another thing, go on.
yeah, no, so why is it that we as an advanced civilization over here, we don't our floats and our technology over here is lacking compared to the Caribbean. The Caribbean has trackers on the apps that you can
We have
look
that
at
already.
hands.
No, I'll
But
stop you right there. We have it already. So the health and no, the health and safety meeting. We discussed that. So all the band leaders and the police
Have
and
it.
the emergency services, they all use the Halo app to communicate with each other
Yeah.
on what's happening around the route. That's not for
Mhm.
everybody else to use. It's for the band leaders, police.
No, but they should have it for the masqueraders. If you want to find your
Yeah.
band,
Right.
okay, let me look on the app. Okay, my band is here.
So yeah,
Yep.
right.
They
So
had
in
that
that
in
regard,
2018 and 2019.
remember,
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember it one year.
They
yeah.
had
So
it in
yeah,
2018 and 2019. They had
we
it.
had it exactly. So again, it's
And
there,
then
but again, go ahead,
and then the
Trini.
infrastructure for it changed, because obviously that's money again,
Yeah.
you
So
know.
it's changed to the Halo app. So it's there for the back. Because remember, the point of you meeting your band is to meet on time and meet at the meeting point. So you're all coming with your band together. If you're turning up 40 minutes late like Keisha, an hour and two late like Nye, sorry, you got to use WhatsApp and find your way.
WhatsApp don't work. No
That's
No,
connection.
it's not
No
working. It's not
connection.
but
working.
Yeah.
exactly. So again, that's something that
That that's a
again,
security thing as well.
if you
The
make it
police
as a
actually
mutual
cut
man
off
earlier,
the.
we just got to do that.
That's a
So yeah,
security thing as well. The police actually they create hubs and they take
Mhm.
off a hub, put on a hub, take off one
Mhm.
because of the amount of gangs that, especially on a Monday, that
Yeah,
come into Notting Hill Carnival.
yeah,
They make sure that they coordinate to make and to ensure that bands are not
the gangs
not
can't
bands,
yeah.
sorry, gangs are not coordinating with each other from this side to that side, and they're
Mhm.
able to just create more havoc,
Exactly.
And it's something that they started to do from since 20. I think I said it in my comments. It was after the big brawl it had on Labrador Grove,
I remember that.
and that was 2015, I think, or
Yeah,
2014.
I remember
one
that.
of
After
those
that,
years.
and that's when it is obviously the music came down from it being 10 o'clock, you finish on the road. It went
Yeah.
straight back down to 7,
Mhm.
8 o'clock in the evening, cut off. And then from that point, they started to make sure that bands and the communication with people on the road was limited,
Mhm. Exactly. So
and it would just be periodic throughout the day. So you'll be able to send a message now, and that person get that message next hour,
Yeah, I know it's periodic. Yeah.
So
you
people, you
know?
see, you're getting that hot information. This is the hot sauce. We're here on Carnival Slayers YouTube. Pick up all the panelists, my God. Of course, don't forget Soca Weekender 2022 in Portugal, the 13th to the 17th. Super Tree Vibes giving us all the behind the scenes. Some of these things you don't even know about. Secret app and all these kind of things. And we're just discussing National Carnival. We've had a lot of conversation about carnival truck dramas, music on the road. Yes, Trini, but you bring the alcohol right time.
No. I'm going to bring in Moby, Sweet and Dandy.
Marby. So big up on
Yeah.
the versions you like Marby. That song, I can't lie, go back to the music. That song I didn't hear
Yeah.
enough on the road.
I
I
didn't hear
must
it
say.
either. I didn't hear it.
I think I
This
heard
is
it.
from my Bajan family. It's from my Bajan family.
Big up on the Bajans them. So
Yeah,
yeah,
once
man, people. So are we looking forward to Notting Hill Carnival next year?
We always look
Yeah.
forward. It's the
always.
most. We count down to it every year.
Yes.
We count
And
down.
what do we want to see next year? 100% soccer, more
Yes.
No,
security.
I want to see more respect for the masqueraders and
Yeah.
the designers that put so much effort. Because look, we have all these band
More
launches.
security.
We put so much. We put so much into our band launches and so on, and so much creativity in these costumes for it to get destroyed on the road.
So, Dexter, Black Star, start the security firm, please. Get all your gang in and your gradient friend and that's strong and tall. We're ready. So when Keisha come next year, she good.
Yeah.
We're gonna pick
But
you up from the
Keisha,
airport,
if we
Kisha.
tell you to meet us at a
Okay.
certain time, you need to meet us at that time, huh?
Oh yes, that's
Otherwise, we
another
left
thing
you
as well.
behind.
That's
Yes,
another
yes.
thing. Masqueraders. If your mass man tells you there's breakfast at your base or your meeting point, get there and have your breakfast. Don't miss it because that's what's holding you lot up. Because when you lot
Yeah,
turn up
true.
late, the truck can't leave. Because I'm not gonna leave with just 10 people behind the truck. So I'm wasting. And also I remember even my band, we dash with 2 big pot of porridge because people never come
No.
to make the porridge.
Because there was doing the makeup. There was
Have a
doing the
good
makeup.
Yeah.
There was doing the makeup.
drink. You lot have to put on the tights. The man them, you lot are wasting time. You're waiting for your brethren to come down from east or come down from Banga Langa Banga Wenga and all these.
Where the place is? Where is Bangawelga? Where's that?
East London somewhere.
No,
No,
no, no, no,
Croydon,
no, no, no.
Croydon.
That's not,
East
nah.
London. East London.
That's not, no way.
Croydon.
That is
That's
definitely in
working.
South London.
Yeah, man, it's in Croydon.
That is
So,
in
yeah,
Croydon, somewhere down there.
it's so much things to consider and to ensure that we have a beautiful Northern Hill Carnival 2023, man. And it's been a pleasure speaking with my panelists this night, evening, day, wherever you're tuning in from. Any last words before we go? Anything that we're really wanting to highlight and look forward for 2023? Obviously, we're hoping that Carnival does happen, and if not, we're gonna make a Carnival Sedway, right? Keisha, you're still in the UK, right? Or you're back in Toronto?
No, I'm in Toronto right now. I've been
Yeah,
back for about a week.
Don't worry. We'll see you next year.
Yes, for sure.
So let me hear from Nai. Any closing remarks, my dear?
I don't want to keep hearing family and Palance. And I would love it if some of the DJs could play yesteryear, you know, some old school, some tunes from, even if it was like from 2 years ago, but the songs that, you know, people don't really hear often, but is a nice song, for example. No, I don't want, in conclusion, I do not want to hear Afrobeats and dancehall on a moving truck while I'm in costume. Like, have some damn respect for the people that design those costumes and the band leaders and the masqueraders that pay their big money. Yeah, and in terms of like the whole Dotty Mass segment, I know that obviously Super Trini is very passionate about that. And it's about, you know, spreading the culture and keeping it alive. And we have to do that through our children. The children are the mass of the future, I should say. I think one of the things that needs to be brought back is the carnival splash that used to be held at Alexandra Palace. Right? I don't know if many of you on the chat knows about that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Marshall came and took the budget for that. So that was that.
No. They need to find a budget, man. We need that back because at the end of the day, that was the one place and time that you would showcase those children, right? That means even if you did miss them on the roads, because you're doing your Dotty Mass. I'm not saying that that's the substitute. What I'm simply saying is I actually, personally, for me, I really missed that show. And I think it was an important part of Notting Hill Carnival. Extremely important. I will get to see all the costumes from all the bands showcased on that big stage. We need that back. So that's my closing thought.
We love that. Black Star.
Yes. My closing remarks would be moving forward to next year. Everybody that's a carnivalist, that masquerader, that loves soca, we should try and make it our New Year's resolution, i.e., Carnival's our New Year, not any Carnival's our New Year, to just try and educate 1 or 2 people. That'll be my closing remarks. And then also, I forgot to add, it's funny, the DJs and other stuff, they will all play dancehall Afrobeats before they'll even consider playing chutney.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
True.
I played chutney. Sorry. My remarks will come later.
Okay, you're excluded, but how many DJs do you know play chutney, but they'll play everything else but chutney.
Not a
Cause
lot.
it's scared.
Chutney's part of soca, right?
Listen,
I didn't hear no chutney this year. I'm just saying.
No,
listen to this. I must big up Super Trini Vibes. When I went to Juicy Thursdays, that was one of the best music because he was the DJ there. I went up to it personally. I was like, yo, you made my night because he was
Did you give him a
playing.
money pull up?
Yeah, you give your body pull up.
Yeah,
I don't give him money. We don't know what to say. We don't care. We don't care. If you didn't give him money, we don't care. I'm joking. Seriously.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I'm joking.
The way he play. This is how a lot of other DJs need to educate themselves to play because we heard he was playing beautiful, lovely soca from the 90s, the early 2000s, then all the way up to the latest music. So we got the whole lot, and that's why there's too much.
The gems.
The gems, but trust me, there was some beautiful.
Look how 3D Vibes blushing. Look how you blushing. He's turning red.
I just blushing because I love my culture. Leave me alone, all right? Leave me alone.
You remember?
Let me soak it up.
I came up to you and I was like, "Yo, you were making my night because the music I was hearing, because I walked in with Sean, SD Production, and me and Sean, this is how we used to play when we was DJs. So it brought us. So the first thing I looked at Sean, I was like, "Wow, this reminded me of how we used to play. Like it just that vibe of the love for soca, of what soca was." So yeah, a lot of DJs. I'm not naming names, but I've gone to a lot of events. And they all play the same. There's too much soca out there for you to for them to not be playing a lot of the songs. Like especially even 2022, there's so much music that came out this year that you barely heard.
Yep.
And let's not forget St. Kitts and Nevis and all the other smaller island music. You know what I mean? Because I don't hear it.
Too much.
And their music have real vibes in it, real vibes.
You have to play Adam only. You can play Pumpa, you can play
right,
Star,
exactly.
you can play Rudy Live.
Talk the things. Exactly, so influential. 100%.
Miss on the road. Your closing remarks, my dear.
Music. DJs, please communicate. When you get allocated or you're chosen or you're booked for the band, please communicate. Kind of do something different for your set. You know what I mean? Communicate with other DJs and say, like, I might draw for a little Dennery segment. I might draw for some old time. I might draw for some chutney, you know, just to mix it up, you know, especially if your masqueraders are loyal and they stay with your band the whole day. They don't wander off. Yeah, mix it up for them. You know what I mean? Otherwise, in that security, for me, security, all bands, please have security. I don't know how, as a community, we can come together to ensure that all bands do have security. So it's sort of like a hierarchy.
Carnival trust, where we have a pot of money where we can use for that.
There is a Carnival trust, though. That's the thing.
No,
when you go,
like a prop. No, not like that. Like, outside of that, where all mass bands can go and say hi. I need money.
Kind of.
Here's the invoice. Please pay it.
I love that. Like because I was even saying the other day, it'd be good that we had like a Carnival kind of infrastructure where we know to go for where you want to go to get trucks. Where we have these companies that specifically do for Carnival. When you want to go for security and barriers, we go to these companies because they specifically work with us. Whether they're black owned or not, you know, we do live in a country that's mostly not populated by black people, so it may not be black owned. But we have strategic companies that we go to and contracts in place where we get deals and they return year after year and we build up, like, you know, like a pool of preferred suppliers, something like that that's been vetted and governed, you know. So as a community, I would like us to try and come together and, you know, how we can help each other out, because if we don't help each other out, you know, we can't go forward. So yeah, security and music are my two number ones.
Thank you very much, Padwood.
I'm just touching base on this comment that's just dropped here by Carmi C. I am fed up of the only Dominican song being played being Balanced Batty. Again, talk the things then. 100%. How much bouillon, like tunes for 2022?
A lot.
Right? And it's Balanced Batty that you're still hearing.
Well, don't you want to balance your batty?
Gripping.
Oh my god. So annoying.
Big up Suki. Gripping.
Yeah, big rhythm, man. I think, to be honest, that tune right there, like free up that song. is the official road march for Notting Hill
Yeah,
Carnival,
it
because
was
that
the
song,
official road match for the whole Caribbean. It got played in every Caribbean island over and over and over.
that tune is a guilty pleasure, right? I'm just saying,
100%.
You
If you
that's
like
a
sugar
guilty
dust,
pleasure.
that tune's there.
clapping, gripping. Anyway,
Super Trini
continue.
vibes.
Trini, what happened to you down there?
That don't sound right, you know.
Because that song free up those who get really sick for everything it stands for.
When you're truly Caribbean, right? You just really understand when somebody hook a song, right, and they stick that song into you, you can't lose it, you know.
Nope.
That's staying with you no matter, you know. You know, I only came back because obviously I want to just get my last remarks. Yes, 100%. I am for seeing the culture progress, you know, and the young people be a focal point for it, because there's a gap and we need to bridge that gap. I also believe from a musical standpoint, going through the bands and stuff, because like I said, I was able to go through the route regardless of, you know, having a crutch, using a crutch. And I heard the same songs literally going down the carnival route. I felt like if I was going through on a time machine, I was just jumping from one place to the next, and I was in the same place. And that's okay. It happens sometimes, you know. Everybody wants to get their little clout or whatever, or their little 2 cents on the road. From a DJing perspective, yeah, it happens. You know, DJs, they be coming from one band to another. Some of them, if they're international DJs, and they would just be coming to just play their set and go. They would have no understanding of what was played before, so they would just come and just do whatever it is they feel that they're going to do to get their push, because that's what they've been hired to do, to make sure they get their response from the crowd or whatever. But I 100% believe that they should go a lot deeper than the last 20, 30 songs, you know?
Yeah.
And there is no excuse for it. You know when Carnival is, I said it in the chat as well. You know when Carnival is, you can't wake up Monday morning and decide, oh yeah, I got to go and play music on the road. You know what? I will just make sure I have my 30 songs ready, and that is what I'm going to play, and that is it. You know, you would have known, you know, gather your music. And from a DJing perspective, yes, people don't like to share their music as much as they should. You know, I am very open. If it is anybody wants music, just ask me. It doesn't bother me. You know, music is for everybody to enjoy, you know. My last point, my last point is this. I want Carnival to flourish and to grow in every country around the world. And we know that soca music is touching places now more than ever because of social media. And it's incredibly important that what we put out on social media attracts people to the culture from the right perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do that, we will be recognized as a culture, and soca music will find its place on Grammys. It will find its place. I saw Marshall Montano's 40, right?
That was amazing.
I wish I could care less how much my back and thing was hurting me. I tell it all, yeah. I was taking a whole hospital bed just for that.
That was amazing.
Because he, as much as it is, I am divided about him as an individual, but as an ambassador for our culture, oh my gosh.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. You know, my only thing is he should have had a few older artists perform, you know, from the roots of our carnival, and highlighted them to say that this is where we came from and this is where we are now. That would be my only, you know, negative. But from a worldwide standpoint, we need to project our culture in an immensely positive and welcoming way, but also remember that you can't come and change it. You can't come and turn it and flip it and try to lean it into a way that it should be okay for somebody else to come and do whatever they want. No. You could come and enjoy it, participate in it, love it, and go back home and tell everybody else that this is what it is we have.
Mm-hmm.
One love, everybody. Thank you very much for having me. Make sure and check me out on Sunday morning on Bacchanal Radio from 10 till 12.
I love
Always
that.
company.
Yes.
Love
Super Trini.
And follow his
Blessings. Good
Instagram
night. Good night.
on his cooking page. He's a very good
Look,
chef.
stop it now,
Keisha,
influential.
you're next.
Stop it now, boy. What G's and ages?
Keisha, your last remarks, please. Love you, Trinity Vibes. Keisha?
I know.
Let me see. My last remarks would be, the energy surrounding around the Notting Hill Carnival is absolutely amazing. The bands were very organized. They're doing their best considering stormers. And I think the whole stormer thing, anytime we come outside of any of the islands, is just always an issue. In Toronto, it's an issue. I'm not going to make it sound like we don't have an issue here, right? Like, if you've kind of stayed in the loop of what's been happening here, it was originally called Caravana. Then the bank tried to overtake it. Then, you know what I mean? And I've been on some board of directors where I've seen the mess, and the attempt, and I think this is just, it's unfortunate, but I feel like, we're all going to try different things, from what I've heard you guys have shared, that there's been some changes made. They're just trying to make it work, considering you're still going to have the stormers, are the people that don't understand truly what is the main reason that this celebration is taking part. I think at the end of the day, like, the bands themselves, they're doing an amazing job, an absolute amazing job, given the fact that they are somewhat outnumbered by stormers, right? But it's just a matter of making changes, or just ensuring that the masqueraders are protectors, the culture is protected, that the education components there and all that. Like, I definitely will come back. I had a great time. I will not say, even though like I said, I had a horrible time on the Monday. I won't say horrible. Like I said, outside of the stormers, when I was with my band and, with the people that know what's going on, like, I had a good time, but I had an amazing time. But I just feel like it's, your carnival's lit. It's very good. It's there, like I said, there has to be some changes. I will be back. I'm just disappointed about small things, but I'm just going to take them all as a learning experience, Yeah, that's it. But yes, but there are some things they should look at.
I will see you next year for sure, with more of your friends and your family, for sure.
Yes.
Influential.
Yes, Trini Vibes.
Sorry, I apologize. Can I just say one more thing?
I will grant you that one wish.
Thank you. I want to say to every single band that off the heels of the pandemic, and regardless of the obstacles that they faced on the road, I want to say to every single one of them, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to all the bands that facilitated other bands that had their struggles, thank you. Thank you so much. And for all the masqueraders that didn't have an issue with it, thank you. Because the amount of reports that came back to me with regard to bands and their difficulties, they still were able to present themselves on the road and present the culture in the best possible way. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I done. You could send me home. I'm home already.
No problem, brother. It's and just to echo that point, it's very, very beautiful to be a part of a band that is able to help another band, and that's what it's all about. That's what the culture is about. That's what it's there for. It's community. It's definitely community, and it's supporting, sustaining, and keeping the community alive, afloat, and well, and flourishing. And it's a brilliant thing to be a part of. And my closing remarks is that yes, we have a lot of work to do for Notting Hill Carnival 2023. We need to sharpen up our music, be on point with it, test and prepare our DJs beforehand, and of course, prepare our masqueraders with mixes and get ourselves in gear with the right security teams so that way masqueraders both locally and from abroad can come and experience an even better Notting Hill Carnival and what it should look like going forward for sure. So this is the hot sauce on Carnival Slayers page. Make sure you are following Carnival Slayers on all social media platforms. And of course, make sure you follow everybody here. Their IGs will be in the description box below, or it's just like their names. So please give them a follow. And we look forward to the next episode. Peace, love, and remember, if you love soca, buy soca. If you love the culture, support it. And we are signing out. Take care now. All the best.
Bye, everyone.
You like Moby? Sweet and dandy.
Kieran,